and then the unlikely resurrection as the Colts have rebounded to beat three excellent teams, Buffalo, Philadelphia, and Kansas City, to preserve their shot at going deep into the playoffs again. James Hunden deep at the goal line for Cincinnati as Kerry Blanchard kicks the football away for the Colts. Hunden will take it about 4 or 5 yards deep in the end zone. Got his first NFL touchdown last week and runs this kickoff back to about the 26-yard line before Diedrich Mathis is downfield to stop him for Indianapolis. Jeff Blake comes onto the field, AFC Offensive Player of the Week 2 weeks ago, working behind an offensive line which has started 2 rookies for most of the year. Anderson getting bigger and better every week at left tackle. And at the skill positions for the Bengals, Carl Pickens 6 catches away from 100 for the season. Garrison Hurst, still without a touchdown, has gained 1,700+ yards in this league since last he scored a TD. First down for the Bengals from the 26. And the give is to Hurst on first down. Jeff Herrod, the middle linebacker, stepping up to make the stop for the Colts. And it'll be 2nd and about 7 after a gain of 3 on first down for the Bengals. Colts defense. And you'll see Tony Siragusa, the run stopper, back in action today, spelling Ellis Johnson at the right tackle position as Siragusa returns from injury for the first time in 7 weeks. Stephen Grant, deemed well enough to go at the last minute. He was originally out of the game. Now he's playing at the outside linebacker position. At the other outside linebacker, Elijah Alexander starts in place of Trev Alberts. 2nd down 6. They called a gain of 4 on first down. And Blake comes out of the pocket looking for first down yardage and nothing more. Ray Buchanan makes the stop as Jeff Blake makes it to the chain and picks up a first down for Cincinnati.
Well, you know, the Colts started that off with great scouting for this team. You're going to watch here Blake dropping back. He's getting a pretty good rush, so he's going to have to step up in the pocket. But look at the coverage. They came up late, jumped up on the receivers, and really took away the short routes that Blake was going to try and establish his pass game with. He had to eat it, try to run, and pick up almost nothing.
First down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Plenty of time on the roll for Blake. Looking deep, wide open. And James Hunden unable to hold on to the football. And Blake cannot believe it. Near perfect throw. Ray Buchanan was beaten on the coverage. Easy touchdown, blown by the Bengals.
Well, they call Hunden the Buzzard. That's his nickname, and after this one, they're going to give it to him for a different reason. Look at it. He just beats Buchanan with speed, basically walks away from him, wide open down the middle of the field. Jeff Blake with that rainbow wide open.
Bad traffic.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is all on him.
Would have been a 64-yard TD. The Buzzard, for the moment, becomes a goat. On 2nd down, Blake again looking deep. Caught! Oh, tremendous catch down the sideline by Pickens. Eugene Daniel there on the coverage. But Carl Pickens, one of the best in the league at fighting for the football in traffic, holds off the defensive back long enough for a 52-yard catch.
Well, Barry Buchanan told us coming into this game that they were going to have to try and beat him deep. Eugene Daniel working against Pickens. There's a little bit of a height differential, 6'3" versus 5'11". But boy, talk about a guy that just knows how to get a ball in a crowd.
95th catch for Pickens. He has not had a big yards per catch average, but that's a lot to do with the fact that they use him as a possession receiver over and over on 2nd and 3rd downs. The give is to Garrison Hurst, and Hurst has a gain of a couple before Herrod again makes the stop from his middle linebacker position.
Well, so far, you know, that long game is working well. In talking to Bruce Coslett and talking to Jeff Blake, one of the things they know they have to work on next year is getting the run game established more readily into that offensive scheme. So not only the run game works, but play action pass can be more effective.
Gain of 2 on first down, 2nd down 8. Football at the 10-yard line. All this set up by the 52-yard pass play from Blake to Carl Pickens. Colts blitzing. Blake reads it, throws to the hot man Pickens, and just a little too far.
A little bit too far. Pickens normally would have had that too. I think they're just kind of starting to feel their own a little bit here. The ball may be a little bit cold. Their hands might be a little cold. But right here, they get the hot read. Pickens makes the breakout. The ball's there when he turns. And I think Pickens, in normal circumstances, could make that grab and probably will make those a little bit later in the game.
On 3rd down 8, Hurst and fullback Brian Milne come off the field. Kijana Carter and Eric Bieniemy come on as the 2 setbacks for the Bengals. Colts in their nickel defense. And Blake fires at the goal line. Touchdown to David Dunn. Huge game last week against Houston. Dunn emerging as one of the best slot receivers in the league.
You're right. They took Pickens out of the game last week. David Dunn became the man. Well, why not go with a good thing today? Beautiful throw. And it was a great throw by Jeff Blake, too, as he laid that ball down and away from Ray Buchanan. Buchanan right on the back of Dunn. Watch, they're going to come in from the right side of your screen. Watch Blake's throw. It's going to be down and away from Ray Buchanan, making it a little bit easier for Dunn to grab the ball and hard for Buchanan to make a play on the ball.
So the Bengals jump on top early against the Colts. Doug Pelfrey comes on to add the point after touchdown. Drive took 2 minutes and 44 seconds, went 75 yards. 12:16 left in the first period. 7-0 Cincinnati.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Acura, who invites you to test drive the new CL Luxury Sports Coupe. By Compaq, has it changed your life yet? By Staples, the office superstore. And by Snickers, not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers. Hungry? Why wait?
Early Christmas present for the Bengals provided by David Dunn with a big catch over the middle. Nice, very nice ho-ho-ho, Bob.
I do.
You know, you do have the Santa Claus corpus. Have you ever played the role?
I've just recently, last couple of days, I've been doing it.
Lee Johnson kicks it away for the Bengals. Aaron Bailey, 38th kickoff return of the season for Bailey, who's averaging 23 yards on every such excursion. Makes it to about the 26. Sam Shade downfield to make the stop for the Bengals. Jim Harbaugh, a last consultation with Lindy and Fadi as he comes onto the field to lead the Colts.
21 defense, grabbing a face mask, 15 yards, first down.
Now let's make it easy on him, I guess, huh?
Bob McElwee, the referee here today, and that was McElwee's voice. The big change in the offensive line, the move with Jason Matthews from right tackle to left tackle. Mandrich moving into the lineup at right tackle. That has stabilized the Colts offensive line. Marvin Harrison, 3 touchdown catches a week ago. Aaron Bailey starts in place of the injured Sean Dawkins at the other wide receiver position today. Falk averaging 118 yards of total offense in his last 3 games, and the Colts have won all 3. And there's a look at Mandrich, former celebrated high draft pick out of Michigan State for the Green Bay Packers. He was out of football almost and has managed to work his way back with Indianapolis. On first down, the give is to Falk. And Falk hunts for yardage over the right side of the line, has a gain of about 3. Ricardo McDonald makes the stop for the Bengals. It'll be 2nd down 7. A quick look at the Bengal defense. Tim Johnson returning from injury today. Gets back into the lineup at right tackle. Javon Langford, the rookie, getting the start over Artie Smith at the right defensive end. Tom Tumulty still starting as a rookie in the middle linebacker position, replacing Steve Tovar. Their leading tackler, Ashley Ambrose, 8 interceptions, 2nd in the league. The former Colt saying that he expects Harbaugh and company to go at him today because they think it will be fun, in his view.
I think he's paranoid.
To take advantage of a former teammate. I'm sure he's open for it. Blitz by the Bengals. Harbaugh reads it, fires to Bailey. First down yardage near the 35-yard line. Rod Jones getting the start in place of the injured Jimmy Spencer at the right corner, makes the stop.
Well, you know, the catch was nice and it's a first down, but one of the keys was on the other side of the throw. Jim Harbaugh getting hit at the end of that throw. Both Ricardo McDonald and James Francis, who had a great game last week, coming in on the outside rush and kind of getting into him late. Tom Tumulty in the inside with a nice blitz up the middle. So the throw, very good by Harbaugh, but he can't take too much of a beating like that, especially coming off injuries.
First down 10, football at the 46-yard line. Timeout on the field as the Colts need time to consult. And we'll be back in Cincinnati with the NFL on NBC after this.
This is the NFL on NBC.
Indianapolis Colts have used one of their timeouts with 10 minutes 43 seconds still to go in the first period. And a look at Jim Harbaugh last year, healthy, versus Harbaugh this year, not healthy.
Yeah, obviously the TD's down, interceptions up. Not playing at 100% really affects your concentration, but he feels he's in good enough shape to get this team into the playoffs and even a little further.
For the last 2 years when he's been healthy, Harbaugh has often provided magic for the Colts. First down here. Good coverage downfield by the Bengals. Javon Langford will get credit for the sack.
Good job by Langford. Tim Johnson got upfield early, kind of flushed him out of the middle of the pocket. Javon Langford coming in, chasing him down. But, I mean, that's a coverage sack. Harbaugh had plenty of time. He moved around in the pocket pretty well. Even as he stepped up, though, you should be able to find somebody open. Nobody there. He had to eat it.
Secondary coach Ron Meeks fired despite the fact that the Bengals lead the league in interceptions with 32. And another look at Harbaugh being corralled by the Bengal defensive front. Second down, 13. And again. This time, John Copeland, number 92.
Well, I don't know what is going on with the receivers. They're not separating themselves from the coverage. They're getting out there. They're making the turn. They're doing a little comeback, but not enough of a separation for Harbaugh to be able to get the ball off. Look at, there's Big Daddy coming up the middle, getting a little pressure over Kirk Loudermilk. Him and number 92, Johnny Copeland, just corralling Harbaugh. Good pressure up front.
Combination of the timeout and the 2 consecutive sacks suggesting that the Bengals have created a defensive wrinkle early in the game, which is giving the Colt offensive staff trouble. On third down, 15 yards to go. Harbaugh fires to Falk in the flat. He's got a chance. Lunging for the chain as he gets near the 35-yard line. Corey Sawyer on the stop, and Falk may have stretched far enough to get a Colts first down on 3rd and 15.
And when you're having problems getting things going, especially in the passing game, you got to go to the ball control. Dump the ball off short, let somebody go do the work for you. Start to establish some rhythm, get some confidence in these guys. You can see just from the way Marshall Falk came out of that play, pretty excited, pretty fired up, hoping to get that Colt team going. Take a look, though, here as he stretches for the – he's out of bounds actually about a full 2 yards before the first down marker.
But they give him credit for enough distance for the first down. Tumulty blitzing from middle linebacker stops Lamont Warren in Warren's tracks.
Well, they are going to come, and that's part of the attitude of this Bengal defense. One of the reasons they get the turnovers, they're very aggressive. They like to attack. You're starting to see that up front. Ricardo McDonald, James Francis coming. Tumulty has been in the backfield more than just about anybody so far. And I tell you what, you get a rookie that fired up early, it's going to be hard to shut him down today.
Tumulty part of the big goal line stand that preserved a home win over the Ravens here 2 weeks ago. That was his first game, replacing Tovar at middle linebacker, and some of his teammates say Tommy came of age that day. Harbaugh sacked again. Artie Smith and Tim Johnson. It's Tim Johnson, actually, who got there.
They are just beating these guys up front.
A sack for Langford, a sack for Copeland, and now one for Tim Johnson.
And looks like Harbaugh's hurting a little bit. It looks like he's trying to shake his hand off a little bit. He's limping a little bit. He kind of got pulled down to the turf in an awkward fashion. But right now, that offensive line for the Colts just is not getting any kind of blocking at all. Look at the leverage. Look at the power that's getting the leg drive and the defensive lineman. There you see Harbaugh jamming his knee into the turf. Can't feel good out there on that cold ground.
Third down, 20. Football at the 45-yard line. Pass is complete to Marvin Harrison, and Harrison is wrapped up by Ashley Ambrose before he can generate forward momentum.
Well, they came again. They brought the corner. They brought one of the linebackers. It was up to the safeties to react. Ambrose comes up. A guy who has really stepped up and played great is Greg Meyer, also number 31 on that play. Up to them on that hot throw with the blitz coming to come up and make the play and stop him from getting the first down. They did a great job.
And now Myers, who's been getting more and more time at free safety, the rookie out of Colorado State, drops back to receive the punt at the 10-yard line. Chris Gardocki headed to the Pro Bowl. Having a tremendous year. Tries to hang this one high and short. And the fair catch is made by Myers inside the 20-yard line at about the 19. Bengals lead 7-0 on a 10-yard touchdown from Blake to Dunn. Their second possession begins when we come back.
You see Jimmy Harbaugh on the sideline getting his ankle worked on. I'll tell you what, bad sign for the Colts, especially since their second quarterback, Paul Justin, is out. And essentially Kerwin Bell, their regular third quarterback, is the backup now. Oh,
Pass intended for Brian Milne, incomplete. Let's take a look at how Jim Harbaugh got hurt before we went away.
And we said that these guys are just pouring in on top of Harbaugh. Number 90, Timmy Johnson, pulling down. Look, you see his whole foot and his ankle getting pinned under Johnson as he goes down to the turf. And like we've said so many times with AstroTurf, you get it stuck down there, it's tough to pull it out and free yourself up to keep the injury from happening.
Difficult circumstances for Harbaugh, still playing on a tender knee. This is a very slippery artificial turf with the rain falling in a light mist. And this is the last game for this. Picked off. Jason Belzer, touchdown. Belzer, the free safety, jumped in front of the receiver on a pass thrown with not enough velocity by Blake Garrison-Hurst, the intended receiver. Touchdown, Colts.
And the sign of a good defense is knowing what's going to happen in all situations. Here the corners knew that they were blitzing inside. They knew that the Bengals were going to go to a hot route. And in watching film, Belzer obviously saw that in that situation, the hot route was that little out route by the receiver. He jumps up, aggressive play, takes it for the touchdown.
Garrison-Hurst unable to reach the football, and not a factor once Belzer snatched it at full speed.
Yeah, Belzer read the hot read faster than Garrison-Hurst read the hot read.
Gary Blanchard having a tremendous year as place kicker for the Colts, and like his kicking Colt teammate Gardaki headed to the Pro Bowl, adds the PAT. We're knotted up midway through the first.
And you see that Colt defense on the sidelines getting ready to go at it again. Jimmy Johnson working with them. But nice job, Jason Belzer, of reading that hot read and getting the touchdown for the Colts, getting them tied up with the Bengals. Bad news is you got to go back on the field again, guys.
Blanchard's kickoff sails to James Hunden, the rookie buzzard from Portland State. Has it across the 20. Sammy Burrows downfield to make the tackle for the Colts. Yeah. Consultation between Coslett and Blake, and here's what happened to Blake on that last throw.
The blitz came up, all the linebackers up the middle. We talked about Belzer reading the hot read. This is also just a bad pressure throw on Blake. He felt the pressure, laid the ball way behind Garrison-Hurst. Garrison didn't even have a chance to get it right into Jason Belzer's chest.
So the Bengals took the lead on a 10-yard touchdown pass from Blake to Dunn, set up by a 52-yard Blake to Pickens throw. And then Blake throws the easy touchdown interception to Jason Belzer. On first down here, the give is to Garrison-Hurst. And Hurst has a good gain of about 7 before Steve Morrison makes the stop for the Colts. I was mentioning, incidentally, as you see Hurst get up with a gimpy ankle, this is the last game for this particular artificial turf. It's going to be ripped up after today, and when a turf is old, it is extra slippery.
Right, it doesn't have as much of the catch and the traction as you'd get. Plus, you had that light rain earlier, which really has in drive. You're seeing a lot of guys not getting the footing, and some of the quick guys not being able to cut as sharply as they normally would be.
We saw a lovely scene as Kijana Carter comes into the game, replacing Hurst. And Blake fires to Kijana, who either fumbles or drops. It's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. Elijah Alexander, number 50, there on the coverage and a hit for the Colts.
Now, once again, Elijah Alexander stepping up. As we said earlier, Jim, he was stepping in, starting at the right linebacker for the injured Trev Alberts. Once again, good pressure on Blake. He's got to step up, drops that ball up to Kijana. Tough to see if it didn't look like he really had possession of it, but a good hit by Alexander to get the ball loose anyway. He seems a little tentative in the pocket, doesn't he, Jim? Like he's feeling the pressure a little bit, doesn't want to hold that ball too long.
Kind of finding his way around in there. Third down 3, Dunn in motion. Blake showing a strong tendency in recent weeks to go to Dunn on third down possession situations.
Ball start, number 82, offense.
Make it 3rd and 8.
Third down.
When you talk about the Bengals and the receivers, it's so easy to talk about Pickens because all those receptions. Darnay Scott was also his partner who put up a ton of receptions and yardage. Well, you know what? When you get that good and people start to recognize you, hey, you start drawing some double coverage. You go to the possession guy, and David Dunn, definitely a guy who doesn't mind catching the ball over middle. There's a lot of guys that won't really run that deep crossing route anymore, but Dunn has no problem with it.
And with the mixture of the 3 receivers, Pickens and Dunn, as you see coming to this side, the thinner and more elusive Scott on the other side, the Bengals have the beginnings of something like what the Lions had a couple of years ago with Brett Perryman, Johnny Morton, and of course, Herman Moore. On third down 8, a good throw by Blake, and Carl Pickens rolls forward to be certain of securing the first down Ray McElroy, the strong safety, and Eugene Daniel, cornerback, there to make the stop.
You're exactly right. It was a very good throw by Blake. Now watch the protection. What's going to happen for the Colts? If they want to get more pressure on, they got to have more pressure up the middle in his face. They're coming too much to the outside. He's got a clear lane for the throw. But watch where the throw goes on Pickens. Eugene Daniels got him. Pickens going to break it back to the outside, and that ball is thrown down and away from Eugene Daniels. Very good controlled throw to keep it away from the defender.
The give is to Brian Milne, the rookie fullback who has seized the job in the second half of the season away from previous starter Jeff Cothran. Goes forward for a gain of about 4. Jeff Harrod makes the stop. It'll be 2nd down 6 with the football at the 44-yard line.
You know, one of the things frustrating for Jeff Blake, and talking to him yesterday, he said, you know, I so want to get a running game going. He goes, but without the running game, so much of it falls on my back. He goes, I can't carry this team. Not so much me, he has to carry everything, but everybody else has to pitch in. He wants Garrison or somebody to step up and be a 25 carry per game type of running back, because he's tired of being put in 2nd, 3rd, and long situations.
Only a gain of 5 on 1st down. On 2nd down 5, Blake again steps through the middle of the pass rush and has plenty of room for another 1st down across the 40 into Colt territory at the 37. Harrod with yet another tackle.
Hey, and as I said before, in that pass rush, they're getting good rush upfield. You're seeing the good speed rushers upfield. But if you're going to stop Jeff Blake, you got to have somebody in the face. Right now, there's nobody. Look, there's no rush up the middle. You got Saragusa back on the line of scrimmage. Got to get upfield. When you got that much room, you've got a lane to throw. You've got plenty of room to run. Obviously, with 4 white jerseys around, the smart thing to do is to slide, baby.
1st down 10 now at the 37-yard line. Make it to 38. John Carter. There has been so much of that for Carter in this season. Crowd is accustomed to it by now. Bernard Whittington gets credit for the tackle for the Colts. But again, the slippery AstroTurf makes it difficult for Kijana to get going.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll take it. Look at the rushing. The rushing offense isn't.
Now Blake says they don't have a running game, but look at that, Bob.
Actually, not too bad.
They're in the top half of the league.
You're exactly right, and you know they haven't put it together. His question is, I'm tired of going in, gaining 5 yards, gaining 2 yards, and then gaining a -2. I want to be able to get 3-4 yards per carry, so I'm not left in 3rd and long situations.
Loss of 2 on 1st down by Carter. 2nd down 12. Football at the 40. Another Colt blitz. Another hot read. A good throw from Blake to Tony McGee. Pickup of about 7. Jason Belzer on the stop.
Well, you know, the Colts obviously have decided today they're going to come in and they're going to attack. They're going to bring these guys. When you do that, you're going to get burned sometimes. There's some of these hot reads are going to work out for the Bengals, but if playing aggressively, as you saw right there, there's no way you can have Jeff Harrod out there playing coverage on a wide receiver. And it's just, or Tony McGee, it just isn't going to happen. McGee's got too much quicks for that. But when sometimes you play the hot throw like that, you're going to get burned.
Gun in motion. Eric Bieniemy is the lone setback behind Blake on 3rd and 5. The throw is to McGee, and McGee was past the 1st down marker before he was wrestled backward by Sammy Burroughs and company. Crowd wants an unnecessary roughness call. But the Colts are guilty of nothing more than a little extracurricular effort, and it'll be 1st down.
Let me tell you this. When you've gone all the way down the field, you're getting kind of tired because you've been on the field for a while. Some guy don't want to go down, and you got a hold of him. You pretty much want to end that play by putting him down on the turf. And so sometimes you may pull and tug a little bit too much. There you see Sammy Burroughs yanking on him, trying to pull him down, but McGee just too tough to try to look at him. Don't you throw me down like that. He did carry him back about 10 yards. That was kind of extreme.
John Carter comes onto the field. Bengals 3 of 3 on 3rd down conversions now. 2:05 to go in the 1st period. Tied up at 7 apiece. Bengals, for the most part, have controlled the football. Blake to Kijana Carter. Blockers in front. Gets past the 1st man. Can't get past the 2nd. Elijah Alexander wrestling Kijana Carter down after Ray McElroy, the strong safety, missed his shot.
Nice job by Alexander. You know, a lot has been, he was the backup middle linebacker starting at right outside backer. Good play that time on that screen pass. He comes out there. One of the first blocks by the lead blockers was thrown at Alexander. Nice job of kind of shuffling off of that, getting back and reacting and making the tackle.
Good look at Kijana Carter as the Bengals look at 2nd down 5 with the football at the 22-yard line. Elijah Alexander, part of the free agent festival for the Colts on defense. This pass batted down by 6'6" Bernard Whittington, number 95.
You know, and Bernard Whittington didn't have much time to talk to him yesterday. I didn't want to bother him. He was sitting at a piano last night, as we were doing, as you're going to watch again, him batting it down, the ball down on the right side of your screen. I guess everywhere he goes, one of the things that he relaxes doing, he's almost a concert pianist. He is so good. He finds a piano, sits back, and just plays. All songs that he's written himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very, very soft-spoken for a guy who's this aggressive.
Melodious music?
Very. I'd buy it.
Third down 5 at the 22. Blake throws to Pickens. Another third down conversion for the Bengals. Eugene Daniel has Pickens in tow, but he fights it down to the 17-yard line and looks to have a first down Cincinnati.
When you throw to Pickens, he is the guy that is so physical with the grab. Not so much that he wants to cross the middle and take the shots and take the big hits, but he is going to fight like crazy just to get that ball and to pull it down.
He's the kind of receiver who says, don't worry about the coverage, throw me the ball.
And no matter how many guys are around, I am going to go up in the midst of all those people, 1, 2, 3, whatever it takes, and I'm going to get that ball.
Team leader, Carl Pickens, 3 catches today, 97 on the year, looking to get to 100 again. Ejana Carter with the carry, and Carter has a gain of about 3 down to the 14. Elijah Alexander again makes the stop for the Colts. 24 seconds remaining in the first period. Tony McCoy, number 61, was also there as you look at Bob McElwee.
And they are the Colts are offsides, jumped offsides.
61, defense.
Tony McCoy.
5 yards, first down.
Blake, not necessarily a guy that you talk about having the real tough cadence, but down here you start getting down in the red zone. Defenses really want to get off on the ball. Sometimes can be drawn, as you saw there for Tony McCoy.
Who had the best hard count of any quarterback you played against?
You know, actually Boomer was very good when he played here in Cincinnati. It was very good.
Boomer does so many little things so well. Probably the best faker in the league too, right?
I'll tell you what, their play action at that time for the Bengals, without a doubt, the best play action I've ever played against.
Play fake here. Gave Blake plenty of time. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Hunden as he stretched out at the 5. And Blake offering a little instruction to the rookie receiver.
And a little bit better. You're seeing, because of the play action, you're seeing guys aren't going upfield. No pressure on Blake that time. But Blake maybe feeling the pressure of having a wide open throw. A little bit tight in the throw and just lays it too far out in front of Hunden.
No. He went to Hunden and said, come out of that cut faster. 13th play of the drive now. 1 second remaining in the first period. This will be the last play of quarter number 1. Ejana down inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line. Ray McElroy makes the stop, but Ejana Carter pounding forward as Garrison Hurst is temporarily sidelined, has the Bengals in scoring position as the first period ends. Back in Cincinnati, the Bengals and the Colts tied up 7-7 after 1. Bengals touchdown, a 10-yard pass from Jeff Blake to David Dunn on their very first possession. On their next possession, a 29-yard interception returned by Jason Belser of the Colts on a pickoff of a Blake pass, tied it back up. Numbers on Ejana Carter for the season as the Bengals go on 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Colts blitzing, Carter running away from the blitz, drops the football. Total droppage of the ball, and Eugene Daniel has a gift fumble recovery for the Colts.
You know, you talked about Ejana having all the touchdowns. He's the guy in this situation that they felt they wanted to go to. Maybe a little bit more power straight ahead, but 7 touchdowns, having a great year. This going to the perimeter, all he did, you're going to see it here, going to the left side, he gets the ball and looks like he's just trying to shift it around in his arms. Just slipped out the backside, and I don't know if, I know down there the ground is pretty cool, that ball gets warm, but they bring in fresh dry balls all the time, so that was just a bad, that was Ejana's bad.
3 carries, 2 yards, and an unforgivable fumble for Carter. Plays like that are career shorteners.
They really are, because no matter who you have, who you are, who your coaches are, they remember that a long time, as do the people sitting in the stands.
Got 1st and goal at the 5 and give it away. Marshall Faulk on the carry for the Colts. No running room on that side. James Francis helping to escort him out of bounds along with former Colt Ashley Ambrose.
And you know, one of the things about Marshall Falk, is the fact that he's playing, as we said before, with that metal plate in his foot to protect basically what was turf toe. He had his foot kind of pinned under somebody and popped it out of the joint. He said that right now he's back, he can run. Where it becomes the problem is not so much in the cut, but accelerating out of the cut. As he makes that cut, he can't get the acceleration he needs to kind of burst through holes yet.
Incidentally, with his earlier pass reception, Falk set a Colts franchise record, which we'll run down in a moment here. Penalty flag down, as on 2nd down 10, Harbaugh throws complete to Falk. Second catch of the game for Falk. If it stands, Ashley Ambrose ushering him out of bounds along with John Copeland. Penalty is called against the Bengals.
Offside, number 92, defense. 5 yards, 2nd down.
Well, he made the tackle, but he also made the infraction.
So with that earlier catch, Marshall Falk established a Colts franchise record for most consecutive games with a reception, 45 in a row, and that surpasses the previous record held by one Lenny Moore. Rushing numbers for Marshall Falk have subsided in each of his 3 seasons with the Colts. He weighs 211, which amounts to medium size for a tailback in this league at best, and he's not the first back to have experienced that kind of degradation in his yards per carry. He gives to Falk here, and Andre Collins makes the stop after a short gain.
And Jim, also, you got to remember this, too. He's lost a lot of support in this backfield. Roosevelt Potts goes out with a suspension. You get
Zach Crockett.
Zach Crockett goes down, who is a very good, not only as a lead back and a guy in the backfield with him, but also can take some of the ball carrying load off of Marshall Falk. Now it comes down to him. In fact, he told us, he goes, there was one game, it was me and one other guy, and the other guy got hurt. So much is falling on his shoulders, and right now he's still not 100%.
3rd down, 1 yard to go with the football at the 14-yard line. Play clock almost all the way down as Harbaugh gives to Falk, and the Bengals have it stopped. Tumulty making the first hit from his middle linebacker position. Dan Wilkinson and Tim Johnson bottling up the middle for Cincinnati.
Johnson and Wilkinson, great body position, good leverage at just standing up that offensive line. They got him, actually they had him kind of forced where they were down enough where Tumulty could get up over the top and make the stick to stop the forward momentum. Well, there's a rook who's having a nice day, has got to be feeling good.
Pro Bowl punter Chris Gardocki goes into the end zone for the Colts. Greg Myers, last season's Jim Thorpe Award winner as a senior defensive back at Colorado State, waits at his 41-yard line. Gardocki booms it big, averaging 46.3 on the season. From the 39, Myers back across the 50 to the 49-yard line, a 12-yard return. Mark Stock, reserve wide receiver downfield to make the stop for the Colts. We're tied at 7 in Cincinnati.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By the adjustable Maverick beard and mustache trimmers from Norelco. By the Citizen Watch Company. Citizen is how the world tells time. And by IBM. Season's greetings to a small planet from everyone at IBM.
12:42 to go before halftime in Cincinnati. Excellent field position now for the Bengals. Field position provided to them by their last drive, which went 78 yards but produced no points as a result of Kijana Carter's fumble. Carter again with the carry here. And Elijah Alexander makes the stop after a short gain. Carter gets a chance for redemption because for the moment, Garrison Hurst is still on the sideline. And the Bengals have also lost, for the moment, starting offensive tackle Willie Anderson, man who mans the left side for Cincinnati. Melvin Tootin in the lineup replacing Anderson. And now I correct myself because I just noticed that Willie's on the field. So Anderson's back, but Hurst is not. 2nd down 8, football at the 48-yard line. Plenty of room for Carter here. Almost broke Ray McElroy's tackle, and he would have had a lot of open AstroTurf in front of him.
Well, the way that this Colt defense is playing, you got to figure that the Bengals are going to try to start working the edges, try to get off tackle. They're attacking the inside with the backers, hoping that somebody's going to miss a block. You'll get penetration to knock the guy down before he even gets started in the backfield. When you do that, you got to kick it to the side. You got to get off tackle. And you saw there right here, he's getting pulled down, just fighting and fighting for us. Put it this way, he's fighting for a job. Since Garrison Kearse came in, the two of them have been, they're friends, but competitive friends.
Elroy came away with Carter's right shoe. As a result, Hurst comes back onto the field. Barney Scott with the catch for the Bengals. Ray Buchanan with the tackle. It'll be second down short coming up for Cincinnati.
Well, they got to be happy that that run game is starting to work a little bit. Waiting to hear, as I said, a little bit more on Garrison. He goes out here. We see the throw by Blake, just another quick out. With so many people coming, you're going to see a lot of these hot throws. Good tackle by Buchanan, wrapping up. You don't see that a lot. A lot of these guys just go out and want to make the big hit, try and end up on some highlight film. Buchanan did a nice job of wrapping up the arms and finishing the tackle.
Second down 4 after the gain of 6. Hurst still on the field, goes into the pass pattern. The throw is for Hurst on the long swing downfield. Elijah Alexander with good coverage for the Colts.
And why not? You knew that was going to be a little off target because they had a little stunt going up front where they had one of the inside backers attacking. Tony Saragusa loops around, came wide open up the middle. And at 320, 330 pounds, he was like 320 before he went to dinner last night. He was looking for a good Italian place last night. I couldn't help him there. But we got a nice hit on Blake as he threw the ball.
How about a good Slovenian place?
I could help you there.
You're the man. You're the man on Slovenian places. Third down 4. Football at the 27. Bengals 4 of 4 on third down, make it 5 of 5 as Tony McGee gathers it in. Sandy Burroughs makes the stop. McGee has been clamoring for more involvement in the passing game, and that's the second catch of the day.
And nice work, very physical work inside. You watch this. He's a tall guy, but he works up against 53 Sammy Burroughs, and he just has his back kind of pressed up. And look at the difference here. The tail of the tape for these receivers, man. Bengal receivers, 6'2" average against a 5'10" coverage, guys. It doesn't add up, except that those 5'10" guys can leap a little bit.
Is that the theme music for Boxing After Dark? On first down, Blake throws short. Ball appeared to slip out of his hands. Brian Milne, 44, was the intended receiver.
Bad throw.
Could be.
Kind of tough. Second time, look at him so far. Thrown about 50%. Having a pretty good day. Although the
day. 18 throws already with 9:55 to go in the half.
Although he'd like to take that one throw back that resulted in a completion to the Colts.
They keep possessing the ball. He's got a decent chance at 30 pass attempts in the first half.
You know, like the last drive with 15 plays, that they're able to move the ball, but until they score points, as they found out last week what the Oilers did versus them, it's just going to be anybody's game.
Hurst on 2nd and 10, stopped by McElroy and Steve Morrison. Gain of about 4. It'll be third down 6.
As you remember last week's game against the Oilers for these guys, the Oilers last week in the first half moved up and down the field pretty much at will, could only come away with field goals, so they go into the locker room leading only by 6. Now, that proves that you can, no matter how much you move the ball, if you don't get the points, hey, second half can be a whole different story.
I remember that game. You know why?
We were there.
That's why. Total yardage in the game tells the story of Cincinnati's domination of ball possession. 7-7 on the scoreboard because of Jason Belzer's interception return. Play clock almost all the way down. Blake gets away from the pressure, steps out of bounds before picking up a first down. And it'll be third down now for the Bengals as Tony Bennett chased Blake out of bounds.
You know, it almost looked at the beginning of the play like he wanted to run a quarterback draw. Now watch here as he starts to drop back. It looks like he hesitates, like he's going to step up there for a second, but then he kind of backs back out again. Good coverage up front across the front line. He had nowhere to go. And as you saw there, had nowhere to throw either. I really have a feeling he was going for the quarterback draw there and really wasn't focusing on his receivers.
Did I say third down upcoming? Let me correct myself. Fourth down upcoming. For the first time today, the Bengals failed to convert a third down. So Doug Pelfrey comes on for a relatively short field goal try of 25 yards. He missed a 26-yarder last week against Houston. This one sails through the uprights. And with 8:34 to go in the half, Cincinnati breaks the tie and leads 10-7 over the Colts. Offense bottled up by a Cincinnati defense which appears to have had some wrinkles and some scheme looks that have given the Indianapolis offensive staff a little trouble.
You know, they really haven't even had a chance to get into a rhythm and to find out what is going to be happening by this Cincinnati defense. Cincinnati has so controlled the ball offensively.
Bengals scoring drive, 9 plays, 42 yards, leading to the 25-yard field goal by Pelfrey. It's 10-7 Cincinnati. Ball temporarily mishandled at the 5-yard line by Aaron Bailey, and therefore Bailey is held to about an 11-yard return just across the 15-yard line. Flags go down.
Well, they have got to get themselves in good field position. Right now, we saw the turnover. Kajana Carter dropping the ball. They get the ball in about the 10, right in that area. And this ain't going to help.
This will hurt them again.
You know, as an offense, you're working limited anyway because you don't have all your players.
Illegal block above the waist on the return. Number 81 of the return team.
They're having the kind of first half.
The distance to the goal line.
That's right, Bob. It is half the distance to the goal line. Yep, you got that. They are having, the Colts are, the kind of first half offensively that the Bengals had in Houston last week.
Absolutely nothing they could do was working. Remember, the Bengals last week only had 1 first down in the entire first half, 23 total yards for this kind of an offense, which today we're seeing able to move the ball up and down the field. Let's take a look and see if we can find where the penalty right there looks like on the left side, or actually basically both sides. There were Colts pushing on the backs of Cincinnati Bengal players.
Colts, with only a couple of first downs so far in the football game, still hampered by lousy field position. Now they start from the 7. Bengals showing blitz. Colts pick it up, and Harbaugh has time to find Aaron Bailey out to the 20-yard line. Good pickup of 13 yards. Gets the Colts out of the shadow of their goal. McDonald and Jones making the tackle for the Bengals.
And Aaron Bailey stepping up because Sean Dawkins can't play today, so Bailey becomes the man right now. Look at him, just kind of like lulling him to sleep. Just kind of a nice little out pattern, letting the kind of leaving the defenders kind of sitting there saying, maybe he's not going to get the ball. Get the ball to him, let him pick up the yards on his own.
Bailey, a player whose whole career is more likely to be defined by the one pass he didn't catch than by every one he ever gathers in. On first down 10, Harbaugh drops. This one wide, almost picked off. Flag was down. Bailey was the intended receiver. Rod Jones was the man who momentarily had a shot at the football.
And it looks like they're going to get a holding penalty. Now, boy, they talk about it. To use the term, they just keep shutting down their whole offensive scheme. Right there, that ball was forced. The ball was...
hands to the face, number 64, offense. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Let's take a look at this, see if we can see numbers.
64 Doug Weedell,
yeah,
there you go.
Getting the hands up, right up in the face. Yeah, anytime you get it up in the face mask, they're going to call that. Not just getting the hands wrapped around the guy, but this Colt team really is not known for its penalties, especially last week against Kansas City, a team that in a stadium where you think they couldn't hear anything, absolutely no penalties at all.
A lot of teams go into Kansas City and come away with a half a dozen encroachments or procedure penalties because of the noise, but the Colts operated flawlessly in that environment. Not here. First down 20, football at the 11. Harbaugh throws, complete to Falk. And Falk with a nice cut back to the outside. Ambrose escorts him out of bounds, but wasn't able to get a good hit on him, 11-yard gain.
And Ambrose gave him tons of room, sitting back in his zone, and he really, at this point, they got a lot of yardage to catch up very quickly. So you're seeing Marshall Falk dropping out. Watch him, just going to sit out in the flat. As we said before, just run everybody deep, let him set short, drop the ball to him. Ambrose giving him some room. Hey, you give him 10 yards a pop, they're going to pick up that first down.
Harbaugh 5 of 5 for 55 yards. That's the lone bright spot in the statistical summary so far for the Colts. Second down 8 after the gain of 12. And this throw complete to Dilger, the tight end. He's got a first down across the 30 to about the 33. Bo Orlando on the tackle for Cincy.
And one of the things, too, that about this team, Dilger kind of gets forgotten in the mix. He's a guy that they're going to have to utilize quite a bit. Drop the ball off to him just to keep these some of these drives going. Watch here. You see him. He does a nice job at just finding that open spot. That's what all you can ask of the tight end. Get up in the middle, find that open seam, and get away from the linebacker enough where you can make the catch.
As a rookie last year, the second-round draft choice out of Illinois, more productive than other bigger-name tight ends who were drafted ahead of him in the first round. It is to Falk. And Falk on first down here. Runs into Dan Wilkinson. Big Daddy with the stop after a gain of maybe 2.
You know, Big Daddy's really come on in that defense after being the #1 draft choice a couple years back. And really, you know, I want to say much maligned, but he kind of had a tough time when he first started. A little bit of a slow start. He has learned that well, he's got to basically, as big as he is, he's going to have to keep his head down, and he's playing with very good leverage and very good power now. He's going to be around. He's starting to establish himself like the Cortez Kennedys, the Chester McLaughlins.
Well, when first he arrived here, as he himself will point out to you, he was one of the youngest players in the league and had a lot to learn. That's all been taken care of. Throw to Dilger, complete again. And Dilger is wrapped up by James Francis, very close to the first down marker across the 40 to about the 43.
You know, and right now the Bengals are sitting back playing a lot of zone, which just basically means, hey, find a guy that, you know, they're not locked up man-to-man. Find a guy that can just find an open spot. Right now, the linebackers who are kind of sitting back and looking to help maybe on a receiver coming in, maybe not paying as much attention to the tight end coming across the middle as they should.
Officials timeout. Here comes the chain. Larry Peccatiello. Larry Peccatiello. Did I pronounce it right?
One of those times. One of those times you got it right, Jim.
Defensive coordinator, lame duck today, relieved of his duties by Coslett earlier this week. He and 3 assistants coaching through the day today, and this their last game on the Bengals staff.
And very good. And talking to, as we said before too, with Bruce Coslett, basically said, you know what, they're good guys, they're good coaches, but they're not my guys. And you know, and all new coaches want to do that. They want to kind of establish their guys, so to speak. We did ask him about Tim Crumry, the only defensive coach who was not released. And I said, what about him? He goes, hey, he's a Bengal. He's my guy. Very intense. And then we stopped talking about it very quickly.
Short of the first down, it's going to be third down, less than a yard for the Colts at the 43-yard line. Colts have had great difficulty in the middle of the offensive line, handling the Bengals' 2 defensive tackles, Tim Johnson and Dan Wilkinson. When last they went up the middle on a short yardage situation like this, they were blunted. So they go outside with Falk, and he makes a good cut to get the first down and more across the 45 near the 50-yard line. Sam Shade makes the stop for Cincinnati.
Yeah, you know, you question those calls sometimes. Hey, sometimes when it's a short play like that, just go pound it away. But you can see that he really has stepped up his game as he has started to get a little bit healthy. And also as he started feeling like, hey, obviously a lot of this is going to be on my shoulders. I'm going to have to respond. Like I said, he doesn't have the acceleration through the cuts because the toe is not 100%, but he can certainly get to the edge of an offensive line that is basically driving the defensive line into the turf.
On first down, Harbaugh looks downfield and finds Falk sneaking behind the linebackers, stepping up in front of strong safety Bracy Walker for a big catch into Cincinnati territory.
Boy, he did just lull them to sleep. Bracy Walker sitting back there. You're going to see Bracy Walker, number 27, looking at the tight end, crossing, Dilger crossing, kind of gets locked up with him, and because of that, loses a step on Falk, up to Bo Orlando to come up and make the stop.
22-yard pickup. Colts finally having gotten something going on offense now. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. A chance for Indianapolis to go down and seize the lead in the football game. Dilger in motion behind Harbaugh. And the throw to Dilger, a tight end screen. Well executed, gain of about 9. Ricardo McDonald on the stop.
And why not? You've been working it downfield. Receivers all took it downfield. I think the closest receiver is about 10, 12 yards downfield. Drop it off short, make the defenders react. And also, I think the receivers thought they might get the ball, but they knew that Dilger might get it. A lot of the receivers with some nice blocks downfield to help Dilger pick up the extra yardage.
How good is Jim Harbaugh when he's right? Well, today he's 9 of 9 for 106 yards.
That's not jinxing.
I do it to Pelfrey all the time.
You sure do.
So why should I
play favorites?
Yeah. Lamont Warren in the game replacing Falk for the moment. Tries to fight forward for the first down. He's close. Needed a yard.
They're just having a hard time up the middle. I mean, we're seeing that both, with Tim Johnson, with Dan Wilkinson so strong up inside. It's not that the offensive linemen from the Colts aren't good, but I mean, you've got a bunch of new guys. I mean, you've got Mandridge, you've got Waddell, a lot of young guys that are kind of new to this system.
And Tim Johnson is down on the field, so we'll wait to see what happens to him as we take a break. We'll be back. Well, the Bengals starting defensive tackle Tim Johnson bothered by a shoulder for several weeks. Limps off here, apparently with a nicked ankle. We'll see what happens to him. And we remind you, experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League. For all the tackles and touchdowns on a live game day scoreboard, click on NFL.com. Third down and a yard. Football at the 18-yard line. Harbaugh trying to sneak it for the first down. And he's got it.
And why not keep it? I mean, when you're that close, you got to give it to the quarterback. You're going to at least get some push by the line enough to let him find a crack.
Red zone offenses, and you can see that Indianapolis is 5th worst in the league at converting to touchdowns once they get the football inside the opponent's 20.
That does not bode well here because they've not put a little nice drive together. They have got to start matching some of the things that the Bengals are doing, although the Bengals haven't been able to get the ball in the end zone either. The first team that is able to start kind of breaking through this red zone TD jinx is going to be able to take control of this game.
That's the 2-minute warning.
Bob?
What? Are you going to warn me again?
I have to warn you about something.
I was ready for this one.
There are only 2 minutes left in the half, Bob.
Again?
I'm warning you. Minutes left in the first half in Cincinnati. Indianapolis Colts attempting to nail down their playoff spot. If they win this game, they host a wild card game in Indy next week. First and 10. After the Harbaugh quarterback sneak conversion, he fires in the flat. Falk catches it. Tom Tumulty with the immediate tackle, and this is going to generate a roughness penalty. Jason Matthews stepping in to protect Falk. It was Javon Langford who got involved with Falk after the play, and this one is likely to hurt the Bengals.
Well, you're exactly right. And the Colts have enough problem with the red zone without you helping them out. Javon Langford there, number 94. Obviously, it's been getting a little emotional. We saw a lot of kind of pushing.
Foul, 94 defense.
Bingo.
Personal foul, 28 offense.
They went ahead and called it against Falk, too.
Dead ball fouls, and they offset.
That's a lucky break for the Bengals.
Well, they tell you not to retaliate, and coaches will yell at you about that. Don't retaliate. The reality is, in the emotion of the game, somebody takes a shot at you late. It is so hard to control yourself. You're going to see it here. Nice clearing route by the receiver, giving a little room, but Tumulty comes in, makes the tackle. Javon Langford comes in and basically looked like he kind of laid his knee right into the ribs.
Now, that was an obvious late hit by Langford, but because Falk expressed his anger, no advantage for the Colts. Second down 8. Harbaugh with the play fake. Gets away from Copeland and throws it out of bounds.
Maybe the deepest quarterback drop I've ever seen. Good play.
No, not actually. You forced some quarterback drops that were deeper than that. You just don't remember your playing career all that well, Bob. That's because you were a nose tackle.
That's right.
You were constantly getting pounded on the helmet. So the rest of us remember what you did better than you do.
Do I have it on film?
You were beautiful, baby.
Thanks, man.
You could play this game.
Tom Tumulty, James Francis that time. Nice coverage on the receiver. Nowhere for Harbaugh to throw, so smartly tosses it out of bounds.
His first incompletion of the day. Harbaugh was 10 of 10 prior to that. On third down 8, good catch by Aaron Bailey, but he's out of bounds.
Harbaugh hesitated with the throw. Bailey drifted back a little bit. Finally got the throw off, but by that time, Bailey was too close to the sideline, and Harbaugh's obviously going to argue that he was pushed, but that definitely wasn't. The ball was not in control as he went out of bounds. Here comes the ball a little bit late. He goes up.
Roger Jones is the defensive back. 1 foot down, 2 feet down. But the ball came out. The ruling was that he didn't control it.
Right, they're showing the juggle signal and basically saying it didn't matter that he had his feet in bounds. He did not have control as the feet came in bounds.
Free agent rookie receiver Mark Stock having to be pulled off the field. as you take a look at Blanchard's field goal attempt, which could set a new NFL record, and does. Gary Blanchard, with his 36th field goal of the year, breaks a record shared by Ali Haji Sheikh and Jeff Jaeger. The 32-yard knock for Blanchard makes him number 1 on the all-time single-season list. High game in Cincinnati as the Indianapolis Colts get a Gary Blanchard field goal. Chris Gardocki will kick it away now for the Colts as they get back level with Cincinnati at 10 apiece. James Hunden will take Gardocki's kick at the 6-yard line. Gets a seam across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Decent field position for Cincinnati as the Bengals will operate with 1:26 remaining before halftime. Tackle downfield by Dedrick Mathis. And as we told you, the 32-yard field goal moments ago by Gary Blanchard makes Blanchard number 1 all-time in most field goals in a single season, 36 this year, snapping a tie with Ali Haji Sheikh and Jeff Jaeger. John Casey of the Carolina Panthers has a chance to equal or surpass what Blanchard does, depending on what Casey's able to do today in Carolina's game against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, we've got a player down, Jim, Mark Stock.
Yeah,
one of the wide receivers.
I mentioned him a few moments ago because he was arguing vociferously about the Bailey sideline play.
Well, he flat out got laid out on that play and really just could not get himself back up.
Stock, I should say, 4th-year free agent wide receiver out of VMI. Intelligent role player without a very big role for Indianapolis. Coming up, it's the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs, and Chris Collinsworth will bring you all the scores and the news from around the league, plus a look at the playoff picture.
Plus the pizza?
Yeah, they eat pizza. They get free pizza in there. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not free. They probably take up a collection. Probably Greg buys the pizza for all the rest of the guys.
You think he does?
Yeah.
Well, since he doesn't have the online service charges anymore, since he threw his computer away.
They got that fat wallet now as he preserves his money from online erosion.
I would bet that he only gets one topping, though.
I don't think he'll be able to stay away from the PC for very long. We told you the story last week, if you were with us for the fabulous Bobby G show from Houston. We told you the story of how Greg Gumbel has given up his PC because his online time was eating into his personal life.
He forgot about his family one week.
Lindy Infante along the sideline. Infante, if nothing else, has proven this year that he can be a resourceful and resilient head coach. Tremendous job as offensive coordinator under Ted Marchibroda.
And you know what was interesting, too? In talking to Harbaugh, and I remember talking to him last year about what Lindy Infante had brought to him or taught to him. You know, here's Jim Harbaugh, has been around the game for a long time, and still Lindy Infante was able to teach him new things. Basically, Harbaugh said, I had no idea that if a guy was covered, you could still throw to him. Just throw, down and away from the receiver, throw to different spots on the receiver to make it harder for the defender to make the play. He's still learning things, and Lindy Infante was the guy that taught him that and now continues to work with him.
Hey, ask Jeff Blake. He throws to covered receivers all the time. Makes a living at it for the Cincinnati Bengals. There's Harbaugh on the sideline. You saw Mark Stock walking off. We hope that he'll be able to return. Kijana Carter and Eric Bieniemy in the game behind Blake as the Bengals go with their 3rd down offensive alignment on 1st down here. And Blake is dragged down by Tony Bennett as he tries to sneak through the middle of the pass rush.
Well, they're definitely getting good pressure up on the outside as they go no huddle here, but they're still giving them that room in the middle to kind of sneak out.
4-yard gain for Blake on 1st down. He passes to Kijana Carter. Carter gets past the first man. Can't make it to the 1st down marker. Ellis Johnson, number 62, was there to hold on to it.
He read the play all the way, went with him. Unfortunately, being a defensive lineman, sometimes you're not as quick enough to actually make the cut with the wide receiver or with the back as he makes the catch.
Blake uses the first of the 3 Bengals timeouts to stop the clock with 50 seconds left before halftime. Still 10 apiece in Cincy. Bruce Coslett, having conferred with Jeff Blake, sends Blake back onto the field for 3rd down 3 with the football at the Bengals' 39-yard line. 50 seconds to go before halftime. Based on what you've seen in recent weeks from the Bengals, you got to watch the 2 possession receivers. Pickens 81, Dunn 80. Pass is complete. Instead to Darnay Scott. And Scott open in the middle as the Colts had exactly the same idea we did. Double coverage on Dunn and Pickens. Open territory for Scott. Jason Belzer on the tackle. First down, Cincinnati.
You know, and we asked Ashley Ambrose about this receiver. He said, well, Pickens, Dunn is the guy who's very physical. As we told you, will work hard, will cross the middle. Carl Pickens, he said, is smart, but he's not a guy that really wants to cross the middle if he doesn't have to. And he basically said, Darnay Scott, well, you know, he said he's having some concentration problems now. He said, we're going to try and take advantage of that. Right there, though, it's hard to focus on everybody. When you've got Dunn and Pickens playing so well, you got to look to the guys who are making the plays, leaving sometimes a big play potential like Darnay Scott. He's proven that in the past.
Well, he had a tremendous game, his best game of the year 2 weeks ago in the victory here over the Ravens. Then didn't get a lot of chances last week in Houston as the ball tended to go to Dunn, who wound up with 7 catches for 95 yards.
You don't think a quarterback finds a guy he likes to throw to and stays with him? Happens every week.
Going to be a different guy every day. Colts showing blitz on first down 10. And Blake making the blitz read and releasing the football in a hurry. Ball was tipped, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Well, once again, the Colts coming at it. Like I said before, this has been the nature of the beast for the Indianapolis Colts, coming after Jeff Blake. And Jeff Blake knew that this was going to happen. His whole philosophy of how people attack him is, they're going to come after me, try to shake me. If they can't shake me, then they'll relax a little bit, and they'll drop back and start playing more zone.
Dunn and Scott to the near side, Pickens to the far side. Blake hasn't gone deep since the first drive of the game when he did it 2 plays in a row. Wanted to go deep here, winds up flipping the ball over the outstretched hands of Eric Bieniemy. Bieniemy had a lot of room in front of him, would have gone at least to the 20.
Well, he did, and really it was kind of like on the last minute. He kind of picked him up out of the corner of his eye in the last minute. Watch him. Blake is going to have to weave his way through a lot of white jerseys here. Finds him last second, lays it out for Bieniemy, just out of his reach.
That would have been a 30-yard play.
And Eric Bieniemy is normally a guy that would have made that snag. I mean, you talk about Eric Bieniemy, you talk about Ronnie Harmon.
You talk about Eric Bieniemy, you talk about 5 feet 7 inches tall. He makes that play only if the ball is catchable, okay?
He can jump.
Not at that moment. Colts blitzing. Bengals 6 or 7 on third down. Blake needs a miracle here and almost gets it. Throwing intended for Tony McGee at the 30-yard line. Ray Buchanan was the man who was chasing Jeff Blake coming off of a corner blitz.
Good pressure, and it was that pressure that forced this throw. Watch, they're going to keep on him all the way to the sideline. Here they hit his foot as he releases. This, not where he would have liked to throw the ball. Blake would have liked to throw him more to the sidelines, making it very catchable for Tony McGee. Would have been a nice throw and a nice catch, but that aggressiveness, that continued pursuing by Ray Buchanan, really is the one that affected that incompletion.
Now the Bengals line up in punt formation for the first time in the football game. 26 seconds left before the half as Lee Johnson angles the punt toward the far sideline. And Hunden chasing it into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Football come out to the 20 for the Colts with 16 seconds still on the clock.
Into the end zone for a touchback.
Well, at this point, with an offense that is probably not as good at going deep and dominating you deep as the Cincinnati Bengals are, you're probably just going to see Harbaugh eat up some time and get out into halftime with this tie.
What does Infante have in his hand? Is that a walkie-talkie or a cell phone?
If he's ordering his pizza.
Maybe he's calling New York to get some of their pizza sent here.
Yeah, like I said, they don't have the guns that are going to be able to take it deep, that quickly. So play it safe, conserve the time, come out, and play 30 minutes of football for the win.
They started even. They stayed even. The Colts still trying to determine exactly where and against whom and under what circumstances they'll be playing their first playoff game next week. We'll send you to our NFL on NBC studio in New York. But first, this word from the National Football League. A 10-10 tie at halftime. The Indianapolis Colts fighting back to catch the Bengals twice. And Jim Lampley again with Bob Golick. Bob, this game has the feel of one that's going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, it sure is. Both teams able to move the ball, starting to get into a rhythm a little bit, getting up and down the field. But the red zone, as usual, getting a little tight for both teams. Lindy Infante at least has to be a little bit excited about the fact that the second quarter offensively was a little bit better. You see there that most of the yardage and most of the stats that Indy put up are almost second quarter stats since their first one was so lethargic. But look at the third down conversion for the Bengals. They have been doing a wonderful job of keeping those drives going. And now, like I said, they just got to get in the end zone.
Aaron Bailey on the kickoff return. Wonderful downfield tackle by James Hunden of the Cincinnati Bengals. Indianapolis will start the first possession of the second half from inside the 20. Quickly, let's take a look back at 3 highlight plays from the first half. At the end of the Bengals' first drive, after a 52-yard completion from Blake to Pickens, this 10-yard touchdown throw from Blake to Dunn. But then on the next possession, Jason Belzer stepping in front of a hot read from Blake. 21-yard interception return. That tied it at 7 apiece. Bengals went up 10-7. Then Cary Blanchard kicked the 32-yard field goal, his 36th of the year, giving him an NFL record for most field goals in a single season, breaking a tie with Ali Haji Sheik and Jeff Jager. And Santa Claus enjoys the action.
That's the real Santa Claus, you know.
That's him?
Yeah.
Well, I always thought that he spent most December 22s in Cincinnati. So I'm glad to hear that my suspicion was confirmed on that count.
Originally from Cincinnati is what I hear, and that's why he likes to get
How
that
could a
last
Clevelander like you say that? How could a Clevelander like you say that Santa Claus is from Cincinnati?
Well, he used to be from Cleveland, but now he has no games to go to.
On first down, Cliff Gross, fullback who very seldom carries the football, gives the Bengals defensive staff something to think about.
That's basically what the defenders for the Bengals said. Hey, he very seldom carries the football, except for that play where he's able to churn out a couple of yards for him.
And they also said they're just trying to give us something to think about.
Well, you know they are, because Harbaugh, he's still got the big brace on the one knee. You saw him take the big hit into the turf early in the game. You know he's not probably as mobile as he'd like to be, so they've got to get some semblance of run game going just to get some pressure off of him.
It was an 11-yard gain. Harbaugh's throw here complete to Marvin Harrison. James Francis, number 50 on the tackle for the Bengals. You saw a nice hold on the far side of the pass protection for the Colts. Where's the flag?
I was absolutely waiting for the flag to come. Jason Matthews just had him corralled. I don't know if you're going to see him on the left side of your screen, but you had an offensive lineman just wrapping up a defensive guy. But Marvin Harrison, who's had a great, what an incredible year for wide receivers, rookie wide receivers this year. Marvin Harrison being one of them.
I'll bet you we could work up a graphic that would show you what some of those first-round draft choice wide receivers have done.
Got that right.
Our ace staff will do that. Harbaugh fires over the middle to Dilger. Complete. And first down, yardage out to the 29-yard line. Crowd urging the officials to rule a fumble against Dilger, but no such luck. Tumulty made the tackle, and the Colts have worked it from their 8-yard line out to the 29-yard line. We mentioned Marvin Harrison,
and
touchdown catches last week.
Magically.
Lo and behold,
here we go.
Graphic evidence.
We've talked about, we were comparing him to the 83, the quarterback draft of 83. Look at the wide receivers, the rookie wide receivers that have come out this season. Keyshawn, Terry Glenn, Kennison, Marvin Harrison, Molds. We asked Harrison about all the different guys that came out, and he goes, oh yeah, those guys did a pretty good job too.
Copeland makes the tackle on Marshall Faulk. Faulk with a gain of about 5. Colts off to a productive start here in the second half, having churned out 2 first downs after disadvantageous field position following the short return and the penalty on the kickoff.
Well, you've got to know that Lindy had him at halftime saying, you guys do want to play at home, don't you? You don't want to go traveling off to other foreign places for the playoffs. You want to stay at home. Get your act together. Let's get on track here. And, this team really has been spending time. This last week was the first time they actually brought up the playoffs from last year and how it felt and how it feels to want to get back into it again.
On second down, 6 from the 34. Dilger with a drop. And it would have been a good gain across the 40-yard line, but the Colt tight end could not hold on.
We would have caught, had he made the catch, we would have said, what a great catch, because the throw was not really on target. You're going to see him here, watch the right side. He's got his momentum going upfield. He's got to stop, go down low. Looks like it kind of kicked up off of his shin. But had he made the snag, he's a hero. As it stands, just another incompletion.
What a great replay. Third down, 6. Football at the 34-yard line. Blitz. Good read. First down for the Colts. Complete to Chris Doring. Rod Jones makes the stop. Doring activated off the practice squad yesterday as his first reception of the season as a Colt.
And they blitz the corner. They bring Roger Jones in, so it's up to the safety to kind of kick up and make the react and make the play. Right there you see number 25, Rod Jones, attacking. Roger Jones was blitzing. Greg Meyer coming in to make the play. Good hot throw.
Doring, an Air Spurrier product from the University of Florida, finally makes it onto the playing field in this league and gets his first catch. Marshall Faulk is bottled up after a gain of about a yard by Javon Langford. Faulk has been held to less than 20 yards rushing in the game. You saw that Marvin Harrison, with 3 catches, has only generated 12 yards from them. The Bengals are allowing some catches and a little bit of momentum at the line of scrimmage, but generally doing a good job of tackling.
Yeah, they really are. And one of the guys that we've got to look to, too, is 53, Tom Tumulty. As you said, Steve Tovar was their leading tackler. He goes down. He's out for the season. You're asking a rookie to step up and to be basically the quarterback of that defense. Not only is he directing the D, but he's making some huge plays.
6th-round draft choice rookie. He has played big in the last 3 weeks. Good throw by Harbaugh. Should have been caught. Aaron Bailey can't hold on. Rod Jones there to make the hit.
Good timing. And sometimes you talk about how you play these guys, how you make a play on the ball. Do you make the play on the ball, or do you make the play on the receiver? Jones that time made it great.
Offense, penalty is declined, 3rd down.
Made a great reaction on the ball, making contact with Bailey just as he was catching it, knocking that ball loose.
3rd down, 8, football at the 46-yard line. Nickel package onto the field for the Bengals. Another look.
It's coming right in. Nice snag, and you see his hand. And that's one of the things that these guys are taught. When you come in, they're swinging those hands down. Not only are they making the tackle, but they're swinging the hands hard across the front of the chest to try and knock the ball loose.
Rod Jones, 1st-round draft choice for the Bengals back in 1986. They cut him in preseason and brought him back. He makes a big play there. On 3rd down, Harbaugh fires, this time complete to Bailey. And Bailey found a soft spot in the Bengals zone to get across midfield into Cincinnati territory. Corey Sawyer makes the stop.
Well, Corey Sawyer was trying to help out, but James Francis was following Bailey through the short underneath zone. You start to match up your linebacker on a receiver, you're going to lose once. You're going to lose more often than not. You see 50, Francis right in the middle. He feels Bailey crossing. Right there at that point, Sawyer has totally lost him. There's no way that Francis is going to catch up to the speed of Bailey.
19-yard pickup, Harbaugh to Bailey. 1st down, Indianapolis Colts at the 36-yard line of Cincinnati. Gracie Walker coming up to the line of scrimmage from the strong safety position. Colts run. Tom Tumulty makes the stop from middle linebacker. A short gain for Faulk.
Are we noticing a little bit of a rhythm here? Let's run on 1st down. Try and throw the next 2. Marshall, you know what? We talk about Marshall Faulk, but not only is he involved in the run game, but also he does a nice job in receptions, and he's been asked to do a lot. And we talked about this earlier. When you lose a guy to suspension, when you lose another one to Crockett goes down to injury, so much has fallen on Faulk. And a lot of people look and say, well, he's not the back that he has been. But the guy has been forced to play a lot of times the lone back in the backfield with injuries. Of course, you're not going to put up the numbers, but he's still in there playing hard.
Faulk with 53 receiving yards. Now we'll have about 47 receiving yards as he makes the catch, and Ricardo McDonald drops him for a substantial loss.
He gets out in the flat, and he's a little bit slow getting caught up. You can see he got twisted around a little bit as they wrapped up his legs. Watch, it's just going to be Faulk stepping up, looking to make sure that there's no blitz. Drops out in the flats, but Ricardo McDonald right there playing him almost man-to-man. Tumulty 53 throwing his body in late. Looked like that might have been the hit that actually twisted his knee a little bit.
Tumulty finishes tackles. Harbaugh, one of the most expressive faces of any quarterback in the league. Bengals gaming at the line of scrimmage. Harbaugh releases. Picked off. Rod Jones. And what a satisfying interception for Jones. He was almost gone. Cut in preseason. Been a fixture in the Bengals defense for a long time. They had to bring him back in desperation, and he makes 2 huge plays on this drive. Jim Harbaugh and the Indianapolis Colts move the football but are unable to capitalize on their first possession of the second half. Rod Jones's interception, 33rd of the season for the Bengals. On first down, Cincinnati gives to Garrison Hurst, and Hurst has a burst of about 7 before Steve Morrison makes the stop. And we go back to Rod Jones's interception that stopped the Colt drive.
This is just great anticipation, seeing the eyes, anticipating the throw of the quarterback. Look at the burst of speed, the acceleration as he attacks the ball. This isn't playing the receiver. This is playing the throw. Beautiful job. And this team has just been dominating. A plus 20. You know, even Lindy Adfani said, I look at a team with a plus 20, that many turnovers to giveaway ratio. I just can't believe that they haven't won more games.
You can't believe they're not leading the division. If you look at the turnover margin statistics and the other teams that are close to the Bengals, they are all primo caliber teams. Tony Bennett makes the stop. Garrison Hurst with the run, and Hurst on 2 carries has enough for a first down out near the 45-yard line for Cincinnati. Bruce Coslett.
He's got some decisions to make. You know, because Garrison Hurst's contract is up at the end of this season. He's got the $7 million man in Kajana Carter. They haven't really established a sound running game. Can you dump that much money into a couple of running backs for a running game that well, let me guard my comments.
A running game that looks tremendous on this play. Into Indianapolis territory to the 41-yard line, tackled by Belser and Morrison. Garrison Hurst off to a hot start in the second half.
You know, one of the telltale things also that was said by Bruce Coslett, he said, well, you know, we got to get that run game going. Yes, I agree with Jeff Blake. Got to get a guy that can go 25 carries a game. But I don't know if Garrison will be that guy. Maybe he will be. Maybe he won't be.
Not since Harold Green in 1992 have the Bengals had somebody run for 100 yards. Exactly 4 seasons ago, 64 games. Blake. Oh. David Dunn. Down at the 1-yard line. Again, the emerging force in the Bengal offense. A 40-yard gain to David Dunn, the second-year wide receiver out of Fresno State. 5th-round draft choice in 95. Great slot receiver.
As you said, he does not mind going across the middle. He beats Ray McElroy right across the middle. Once he gets past him as the slot coverage guy, he's got a wide open zone in the middle. And beautiful job of trying to get into the end zone, just short.
Hurst out, Kajana Carter in the game, and the goal line set for the Bengals. Touchdown, Carter. Hurst gains the yardage. Carter gets the touchdowns. It's been that way all year.
I was going to say, isn't that the way of this running back combination? We see Willie Anderson, the left offensive tackle, down on the field as everybody kind of celebrates around him. He's up and moving, and I'm sure would like to celebrate if he didn't hurt. But you're exactly right, Jim. This has been the way of it. Garrison Hurst I think he's like the only back in the NFL that's gained over 500 yards so far without any touchdowns.
That's right. There are more than 30 backs in the league who have gained 500 or more. Every single one of them has a touchdown, with the sole exception of Garrison Hurst.
And when it comes down to, this makes number 8 for Kajana Carter. Comes down to this red zone area. Give it to Kajana.
Carter probably has one of the best touchdowns to yards gains ratios in the league. He's going to give the football to his mother, who is his constant #1 fan and support system. Pelfrey puts the PAT through the uprights, and with 5:41 to go in the third, Cincinnati goes on top for the third time in the game, 17-10. They're dancing the Macarena in Cincinnati, where Kajana Carter has just scored on a 1-yard touchdown run to give Cincinnati a 17-10 lead. Bengals led 7-0, led 10-7. Now lead 17-10. Let's see if Indianapolis can catch him again as Aaron Bailey takes the kickoff from Lee Johnson and squirts across the 30 to the 35. Quickly, another look at the touchdown as Kajana Carter's mom, not visible in that shot, but seated somewhere in that section of the stands, has the football, which her son Kajana carried into the end zone. There, right there.
This is the NFL on NBC.
5:32 to go in the third in Cincinnati. Bengals leading Indianapolis 17-10. While we were away, a Bengal player treated for injury on the field. Troy Sadowski now walking off. Next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, it's The Wonders of Rome here on NBC Sports, an encore presentation of the award-winning film that looks back at 5 of the most famous Olympians of all time: Muhammad Ali, Wilma Rudolph, Rayford Johnson, Jerry West, and Oscar Robertson. Wonders of Rome, documentary style, next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern here on NBC. There's Sadowski now walking effectively on the sideline. Maybe he's going to be okay. Colts, previous possession ended in a Harbaugh interception, pick off by Rod Jones. That led to the Cincinnati touchdown. Here, he overthrows Cliff Gross on first down. And Bob, if I'm ever the executive producer of an Olympics telecast in the summertime, you're covering wrestling, good guy.
Thanks, man.
You're quite welcome.
No, I've got that background.
I think I owe it to you.
I've wrestled without masks. My mom won't let me.
Yet another reason for your long-term memory loss. Another injury on the field. This time it's Tim Johnson, and we told you about Johnson shaking off the shoulder injury. He had a temporarily banged up ankle in the first half, and maybe that's what's got him again here.
Well, you know, this defensive line is starting to come along. I mean, they haven't in the past been they've been trying to kind of piece it together, looking for somebody to step up. Tim Crumrine now, who was a nose tackle for them for so many years, playing so well, the lone remaining defensive coach, still there is, you know, he's got some nice people to work with. Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson is starting to come along. Tim Johnson has been a big play maker in the inside, and you're finding out now that even if you have the good rush guys on the outside, you still got to have some power guys that can collapse the pocket in the middle.
Second down 10 after the incompletion from Harbaugh on first down. Harrison, the catch in traffic. Tumulty makes the tackle. Ricardo McDonald is also there. But you talked about those contract decisions upcoming for the Bengals. Both Copeland and Wilkinson scheduled to become free agents at the end of next year. And I don't think they can afford to let Dan Wilkinson get away.
And so unless somebody all of a sudden says, hey, let's not have a salary cap anymore, which would be a good idea, by the way.
Oh, really?
Well, I think that the salary cap, we've talked about this, salary cap of free agency has ended the careers of a lot of good middle-of-the-road veterans, really cutting down the amount of talented backups you could have on a team.
Bengals showing blitz on first down. Tumulty coming up the middle. Whistles blow, and this one will be blown dead. Interesting that you say that the salary cap should go away, Bob. I note, incidentally, knowing your personal history as I do,
Number 88, offense.
that you spent a lot of time as a player in this league, but have not yet been a general manager or an owner.
You're saying I'd have a different perspective at that point.
I'm saying that any general manager or owner might suggest that you would have a different perspective.
Well, if I'm going to be a general manager, I'm going to work for an owner that has all kinds of money. And all he wants to do is win a Super Bowl. How's that sound for a reality check? I don't know if you saw the last play. As the play got blown dead, Harbaugh got pulled down and was not real thrilled about it. As he got up, he kind of like tossed the ball to the guy that pulled him down. Luckily, the refs didn't really see that extracurricular.
Tim Johnson being taken away on a cart. You can see that number 67, Kimo van Oelhoffen, has replaced him along the defensive front for the Bengals. First down 15 after the offside penalty. And this is Falk. Falk getting most of his yardage on receptions today. Has been largely bottled up in the running game. Rod Jones made the stop. And incidentally, when Jones made the interception, I said former #1 draft choice of the Bengals. He was actually a Tampa Bay #1 back in '86. Came here 7 years ago.
And remember, I was telling about that last play where there was an offsides and Harbaugh got pulled down. Watch, the play's blown dead here. It's McDonald pulls him down late. Harbaugh goes, sorry, didn't see there.
Number 56, defense. The penalty is declined. Second down.
Ricardo McDonald's just getting in everybody's face. I think that time looked like Aaron Bailey was crossing the middle and kind of got tangled up with McDonald.
Fifth-year linebacker out of Pittsburgh, fourth-round draft choice in 1992. Right linebacker position for the Bengals, shared by a Pitt and a Penn State alumnus, McDonald and Andre Collins. Gives to Falk. And again, the Bengals have the answer in the running game as Timo van Oelhoffen, who is very good against the run, wraps Falk up high.
As I said, they are starting to establish it. Whether it be Tim Johnson and Dan Wilkinson, Timo van Oelhoffen comes in. They've got a young guy, and Tim Morabito also, who has had some good playing time. They're doing a lot of good things. They're able to stuff up the inside run. And as I said in the past game, these guys are mobile enough where they can push and collapse that pocket in front to kind of take away that step-up room that the quarterback normally would have to find a little open space to throw his ball.
First and 10, football at the 40-yard line. Falk dropped at the corner. James Francis playing terrific football. AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his play against Houston a week ago. 2 interceptions, forced a fumble, did just about everything you can possibly do in his homecoming to Houston.
And one of the interceptions for a touchdown.
That's right.
Yeah, beautiful day for him. And you said, as you said, he's from Houston. I think they said he had bought like 40-some tickets, and they certainly got their money's worth. And again, a nice play there. He was actually blocked pretty well, but was able to free up one arm, get out, and make the tackle on that play.
Hey, how about Chester McLaughlin, speaking of tickets? We'll talk about that in a minute. Second down, 8 with the football at the 38. Harbaugh gets away. Touchdown. Nope, he's going to go down at the 1-yard line. Marvin Harrison making another big play in the Colt passing game. Bo Orlando let him get loose down there and then knocked him down short of the goal line.
You want to know something? Harbaugh called that the secondary for the Bengals, and Ashley Ambrose, a bunch of biting and jumping fools. You know, guys that are going to react and aggressively come after. Now, when a quarterback scrambles, a lot of times guys get lost from who they're covering. They start to maybe come up a little bit or react to somebody else. But that time, Harrison wide open. Harbaugh finding him with a nice throw and a great completion down to the 1.
And let's clean up Bo Orlando a little bit. It appeared from the replay that it was not Orlando who lost sight of Harrison, but rather the strong safety, Bracy Walker. 37-yard completion. Now Harbaugh wants time to maximize the 1st and goal. Bumper crop of rookie receivers in the league. Last week, Colt rookie receiver Marvin Harrison had a huge day, 6 receptions, 3 of them for touchdowns, total of 103 yards. And here in Cincinnati, we come out of the tape. The Colts attempt to get the touchdown and are stopped short by the Bengals defensive line. It will be 2nd down goal.
Okay, let me explain what happens.
Now, let me finish up the Marvin Harrison thing. Then you can explain what happened. It was Harrison's 2nd consecutive game with 100 yards receiving. He was the catalyst as the Colts beat the Chiefs 24-19. Coming into today, Harrison had 8 touchdown catches, which ties him for the lead among all those terrific rookie receivers in the league. Now, what were you going to tell me?
I forget. Defensive linemen right now are going to be undercutting the offensive linemen, trying to keep everybody down so the linebackers are free to come over the top. And you see there, like that. Tom Tumulty, that is the whole premise down here. As a defensive lineman, the worst thing you can do is to lift your head up. You stay low, you undercut the O-lineman, you keep all of them down so the linebackers can come make that play.
This is the same goal line at which the Bengals blunted Bam Morris twice and then stopped Carwell Gardner outside the end zone to complete the big goal line stand. That's what you call that. Goal line stand that preserved the victory over the Ravens 2 weeks ago. Crowd looking for more of the same. Play fake.
Wide open.
Dilger.
Wide open. Boy, he just absolutely snuck away from everybody in that defense. And he's a good-sized guy, not very good at sneaking. They were so keyed on once again following up on what they have done so many times down in this goal line that they just got a little bit too keyed in. You see everybody there. Dilger just totally, look at that, all by himself. Nobody even responded. And in that situation of the goal line, somebody's got him man-to-man. Somebody broke down and blew that assignment.
Strong safety Bracy Walker, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Not a particularly good drive for Bracy Walker, who lost Harrison on the long one, and may, in fact, have been the man with responsibility to cover Dilger there. Seesaw battle in Cincy. Colts have tied it again, 17 apiece. As we mentioned, coming out of halftime, kind of game that has that down-to-the-wire feel. Cincinnati took a 17-10 lead in the third. Indianapolis, for the third time in the game, comes back to even things up on the 1-yard touchdown, Harbaugh to Dilger. James Hunden from the goal line. And Hunden has room across the 30 to the 33, takes a big hit and holds on to the football. Steve Morrison downfield to make the stop. Now Blake will bring the Bengal defense, or Bengal offense, out onto the field. Chicago Suns, a new must-see comedy. These brothers, well, they know what it takes to throw a party. Yeah.
Stripper.
You're late. The party's over.
Oh, well, I've already been paid. I could dance for you three.
Chicago Suns beginning January 8th on NBC.
Hey, I've got two brothers.
Yeah, you had a television series, too. Tony McGee with the catch from Blake. And McGee is close to the 50 before Jason Belser has him out of bounds. 17-yard pickup on first down.
McGee with a nice snag down low. One of the keys there, though, Carl Pickens was running a route. As McGee got the ball, ran right past Pickens, did a nice job of kind of shielding his defenders. You see him thrown to the left. McGee coming underneath. You're going to see Pickens up on top, getting a block. And an Olay for Tony McGee to be able to get by and pick up a couple extra.
On first down, the give is to Garrison Hurst. Looks left, looks right, looks middle, looks down at the artificial turf in the grasp of Jeff Herrod. Third quarter comes to a close. 17 apiece in Cincinnati. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
You want to play offensive line for the Colts, you got to get that haircut.
It's like a Halloween thing. You know, they're too big for me to be talking like that about them.
They'll find you, too. Jeff Blake. McGee with a one-handed catch. And he broke away from Eugene Daniel before Jeff Herrod knocked him down.
You know, we've seen this before. It looks like McGee's took a little bit of a shot there, but we've seen this before. So many times we talk about these receivers, Pickens, Darnay Scott, Dunn, and all of a sudden, Tony McGee comes alive. And like we said before, sometimes a quarterback just finds a receiver that he likes that day. McGee's been the guy who's found the open zones, been able to beat his guys man-to-man, and has got a whole lot of attention from Jeff Blake.
Getting more activity today than has been the case through most of the season. Milne goes in motion behind Blake. The give is to Garrison Hurst, and Hurst providing a lot of forward progress for the Bengals. Upends an official, and satisfyingly so, I'm sure, as he has a gain of about 6. And Steve Martin makes the stop for the Colts, and this man has been dinged.
It looks like he did get kind of caught him right around the lower legs. Might have snapped his knees out. I rarely do we sit here and analyze the injuries to the refs, but it looked like he may have got his knees kind of hyperextended. A nice counter tray. Watch the backside guard coming. Nice block up on the linebacker, but hey, this is all on that Bengal offense. Hurst with a nice job, and like I said, coming in low, looked like he got a shot on the front of the ref's knee, and we've seen that happen to players. That is not a pretty sight.
Well, I think it was actually the umpire, Jim Duke. Is that my man, Jim Duke, who's down with this injury here? Yep, 14:08 to go. We'll check him out when we come back.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Honda. Vehicles designed to help simplify your life. By Nike. And by the new Coors Light Wide Mouth can. Tap the Rockies with a smoother pour.
Jim Lampley along with Bob Golick, the fabulous Bobby G Show, I call it, originating today from Cincinnati. Umpire Jim Duke feeling a little bit better.
And you were saying before, as a Tar Heel, you always like to see what?
Well, as a Tar Heel, I enjoy watching Duke go down, but it was just a wordplay, you know.
I liked it.
Not this particular Duke. On second down, Blake fires, picked off by Buchanan. He dropped it. Would have been a very big interception for Ray Buchanan.
Yeah, Tony McCoy got into Blake's face, perhaps upsetting that throw. Watch McCoy, 61, left side of your screen. He gets free as he's almost dragged down. I think he might have got the hand up on the ball a little bit, but that ball thrown definitely behind the receiver. Buchanan right there to almost make the play. If Pickens doesn't get his hand on the ball, Buchanan's got an interception.
For the benefit of Pickens' willingness to fight for the football. 3rd down and 2 yards to go with the football at the 27. Eric Bieniemy. And Bieniemy, who's become a very dependable 3rd down back in Cincinnati, fights inside the 20. Eugene Daniel makes the stop. It'll be 1st down, Cincy at the 17-yard line.
And you see Bieniemy get excited. All these so-called quote-unquote 3rd down backs, if you ask them what they'd rather do, they want to run out of the backfield. They want to go on 1st down. They want to carry the ball. They don't want to just be the dump-off guy in a 3rd down situation. Look at the excitement, though, and we're finding out now, and I think the Bengals are finding out that their run game is working more effectively with quick-hitting plays. None of the delay stuff, but the quicker-hitting stuff seems to be piercing that Colt line.
Garrison Hurst, the setback behind Blake on 1st down. Blake fires, caught inside the 10. Good coverage by Buchanan. He backs Darnay Scott out to the 15-yard line, but it'll be inside the 10 for the Bengals as they try to seize the lead for the 4th time in the ball game.
Well, it was Buchanan who said that Darnay Scott hasn't had the kind of season. He doesn't seem to be concentrating. We're going to have to take advantage of him. Well, this time Darnay seems to be concentrating just fine. Nice throw right into the chest of Darnay Scott. Great concentration to hold on to that ball.
He has not had a critical drop in the past 3 weeks after having a couple of them early in the season. Hurst near the goal line, and he almost broke his extraordinarily long touchdown drought. Steve Morrison made the tackle. Hurst was within a yard of his first touchdown in nearly 1,800 yards of real estate.
Leave him in. Leave him in. Look at this guy. 754 yards, no touchdowns.
To an eligible position.
And as you,
number 61, man.
As you said before, over 35 players, over 500 yards rushing. He is the only one that doesn't have a touchdown, and he ain't going to get it here either.
As Kijana Carter comes onto the field to replace Hurst, Milne will line up in front of him in the I formation. Bengals went with the 1-yard Carter touchdown run last time. This time Carter is dropped short of the goal line. 50 Elijah Alexander, 52 Steve Morrison. Buchanan was coming up too.
Also number 98, Tony Saragusa. For a big guy, covers a lot of ground. A good job of the Colt defense. I'll tell you what, the play before this one, they just absolutely got run over. Garrison Hurst coming back, and the fans seem to sense what's going on here.
They want it.
As Garrison comes on the field, the fans react, and perhaps we'll see this drought ended.
Well, he's got 64 yards today, so by my calculation, Garrison Hurst has had 1,785 yards rushing, nearly 1,800 yards in this league since last he scored a TD. Blake, touchdown. Carl Pickens. For the 4th time in the game, the Bengals take the lead. They led 7-0. They led 10-7. They led 17-10. Now they go up 23-17, and Pelfrey will try to make it 24.
They don't even go play action here. Blake, good poise in the pocket, and Pickens just beats his guy. He beats Ray McElroy as he came in from his outside split position, wide open. That ball gunned right in there for the score.
Well, touchdown catch of the year for Pickens. Pelfrey drills the PAT. And with 10 minutes, 54 seconds to go, the onus is back on Captain Clutch of the Colts. It's 24-17, Blake and the Bengals.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now to enjoy a hot and delicious Domino's Pizza during the game. For hot and wow, call Domino's now.
They're playing Welcome to the Jungle in Cincinnati, where the Cincinnati Bengals are trying to finish the season with 7 wins in 9 games under head coach Bruce Coslett, 5-0 at home under Coslett, 8-8 with a 500 or better record for the first time since 1990. That's their incentive, and that is what is bedeviling Indianapolis now as the Colts fight to try to nail down a home playoff game.
And you know what? And that's what Bruce Costa said when he took over the job. And I know it's kind of a weird trite thing with this welcome to the jungle with the music, but he goes, I want to bring the jungle back. That was a huge identity for this stadium and for these fans, and it really got them riled up. It was an era of very aggressive play for the Bengals, and that's what Costa wants to bring back to this team.
Haslett is not easy on players and not particularly sympathetic to their plight, but he is definitely a player's coach in that he understands how to motivate it. Lee Johnson's kick is taken by Aaron Bailey. Bailey's got room across the 30. Fast Johnson.
And Shade can't catch him.
Touchdown. Yards, Aaron Bailey, and how resilient are the Indianapolis Colts.
And no flags. Everybody looking back to make sure no flags. It was Hunden that was closing in on him, had a chance to drag him down from behind. Just did not catch. And all day long, Bailey has found gaps and always looked like if it was one or two guys he could beat, he'd be able to pop it. This time, he made the right cut at the right time, all the way down the field.
Longest kickoff return of the year for Aaron Bailey. He's had over 40 chances with the football in that situation. Pops the big one here, 95 yards. The team that won't die, the Indianapolis Colts.
And this just comes down, you know, in returns for the kickoff, you just never know where guys are coming. But you got to make this decision. Right here, he makes the right one. He sees the kicker, he sees another guy peripheral vision on the right, breaks it to the left, and at that point, just the perfect cut at the right time. A lot of times you don't anticipate, I mean, you can't see everybody that's coming in. You can't, because they're all coming from different angles. Here he makes that cut, there happens to be nobody to the outside, and then it becomes a foot race.
And Ashley Ambrose has had a tremendous year at corner for the Bengals after coming over from the Colts as a free agent, has had 8 interceptions, but Ambrose had the last clear shot at Aaron Bailey and couldn't get him as he went by. There's the #1 cheerleader on the Colts team.
And the Bengals just got to be looking at themselves going, we worked so hard to go all the way down the field and get our touchdown, and they get this.
10 minutes, 38 seconds to go. Colts have 3 timeouts. Bengals have 2 timeouts. Bengals have led 4 times. Colts have caught them 4 times. There's what's at stake for Indianapolis.
And I'm telling you what, I have been in enough playoff situations. It is a whole different animal when you get to the playoffs. You play preseason, you play 16 regular season games, but when you get to the playoffs, you almost have a feeling of everything before that first playoff game as being a warm-up, as a qualifying round. So to be able to play it at home means a ton.
Gardocki bombs the ball with his left foot. Hunden, who chased Aaron Bailey and couldn't catch him, now tries to return the favor and gets it to the 27-yard line. Jason Belser downfield to make the stop for the Colts. Tonight on Dateline, stress. We all know it. What? Blake knows it. Haslett knows it. We can all feel it. The pressures of everyday life can drive you over the edge. But if you're stressed out, don't panic. Help is on the way. Dateline has the latest ways to cope. Tonight, an all-new Dateline on NBC. The latest ways to cope with stress. As usual,
why are you looking at me?
I'll be on a plane.
Why are you looking at me?
I'll be on an airplane. I'm not going to learn anything.
And I can't because my tape player's broke.
Getting a little bit paranoid, are you?
Why are you looking at me like that?
The fabulous Bobby G sinking into paranoia here with 10 and a half minutes to go.
It's a nice taste to visit.
Garrison Hurst. Hurst must be beginning to believe, well, okay, if I can bust one from here and go 70, maybe I can get a TD.
That's about all that's going to happen. The only way he's going to score.
Tony Bennett is the player down on the field now for Indianapolis. Colts can ill afford to lose a defensive lineman.
You know, one of the things here, too, you have to remember, the Bengals just had a long drive. I mean, these guys had worked hard all the way down the field. The running backs, the linemen, everybody, and they expected to go to the sidelines and get themselves a little bit of a rest. Well, it ain't going to happen. They're back out there, and they got to go to work again.
Would you like to see the last time Garrison Hurst scored a touchdown?
You know what? I was just going to ask you if there was any possible way for us to produce that.
Well, at the moment, we can't.
Oh.
but we'll think about it, okay? He'll be wearing the uniform of the Arizona Cardinals when you see that touchdown. If, in fact, we show it to you. Just wanted to tease you a little bit there, Bob. Okay, here it is.
You're really following up on that paranoia thing, aren't you?
Don't get paranoid. It's been a long time since Hurst found the end zone. The last time he did it was as an Arizona Cardinal on September 10, 1995. He has now rushed for close to 1,800 yards since then without scoring a TD. But truthfully, Kapuchko, we're rooting for him. The Colts on as they gang up and stop him near the line of scrimmage. Bernard Whittington with the first hit. Tony McCoy. Elijah Alexander. Incidentally, we told you earlier today that the field goal by Cary Blanchard in the first half broke the all-time record for most field goals in a single season. We also told you that John Casey of the Carolina Panthers might have a chance to catch Blanchard. And in the game between the Panthers and the Steelers, Casey has now kicked 3. So he, for the moment, is the record holder with 37 in a season, ahead of the 36 by Blanchard of the Colts. Johnny Carter in motion on third down. Perfect throw to Pickens in the seam. First down, Bengals. Jason Belzer makes the stop. We've only had 3 punts today, and this is a tremendous season-ending football game in Cincinnati.
Well, you know, this is, and I've faced this situation so many times. This is no time, Jimmy Johnson of the Colts, to get in there and start rushing 3 people. You can't get conservative now and sit in the lead. 3 guys only rushing on that play. Of course, they had no time to get there anyway. It was a quick releasing throw, but you got to get people in his face. You can't let Blake have time. You give him time, he's going to find an open receiver.
It's a tie game, 24 all. Tons of time for Blake. He throws all the way across the field, hoping that Hunden can get back to the football. Keeping you up to date on some statistical markers here, and Pickens, after that last catch for the big first down yardage, needs only 1 more to reach 100 again.
Yeah, if he was leading there for a while, if it wasn't for a guy like named Jerry Rice, he probably would have held on to that lead.
One of the real blue chip receivers in the National Football League. Rice, Irvin, Herman Moore, a couple of others. Pickens is on that level. Blake McGee. Another catch on what has been an extraordinarily busy day for the tight end, overlooked in the Bengals offense for so much of the year. Elijah Alexander makes the stop.
You know what's happening here? You're seeing some movement by Blake. They're going play action up front, and they're respecting the run enough. Watch the defense of the Colts. They get no penetration at all. These guys are all on the line of scrimmage, playing the play action, then trying to react back to the pass. They just don't have the upfield momentum.
And incidentally, you saw another element of Pickens' game there as he was downfield blocking ahead of Tony McGee.
You saw him blocking that one McGee in the last quarter. He's doing it again now.
Hurst with a nifty move to get away from the first man. Almost got outside. Buchanan makes the stop at the 20. It's another first down, Cincinnati.
It looked like it was Sammy Burroughs who really blitzed on the play. They've been doing a lot of blitzing and run-down situations. Watch him here. He gets good penetration. Oh, excuse me, it's not him. It's Steve Morrison. And he makes the hit, but doesn't wrap up. Garrison Hurst again saying, hey, if I pop this, this is going to be the only way I'm going to get myself a touchdown.
There are the numbers on Hurst. Remember, it's been 64 games since a Bengal rushed for 100 yards. Whittington on the stop there.
Well, the Colt defense, they're definitely respecting this Bengal running game. You see it, as I said before, in the play-action pass. Because they respect the run, they're not coming upfield with wild abandon. They've got to look for the run first and then react to it. And, I think that it looks like the Bengals are mixing it up well enough where it kind of is keeping the Colts defensive line off their, kind of on their heels a little bit.
Off today's numbers, the Bengals have a chance to wind up the year ranked in the top 11 or 12 in the league in rushing the football. No one would have dreamed that was possible early in the season. Blake's throw incomplete, intended for David Dunn. Ray McElroy, the strong safety, was there on the coverage.
Well, this whole drive, they've been doing a lot of the short rollout things. trying to keep Blake free, keep people out of his face. We have noticed the one thing that we've seen today with Blake is when he's had somebody in his face, he has been a little bit off with his throws. When he's had nobody in his face, he's at least gotten him near the target.
So here's what the coverage tells us. The Colts are matching the strong safety against the wide receiver in the slot. Tony McGee is getting a linebacker. That's why Blake has been going back to the tight end as many times as he has. You see the third down conversion numbers for the Bengals. They've been tremendous. Another one. David Dunn fights his way into the middle of the field and again makes the catch between defenders to give the Bengals first and goal.
As a receiver, the one thing you look at Bruce Consulate there, mixing it up nicely and knowing that there's a couple of guys he can go to. Dunn, McGee, so far possession guys. But look at the linebackers. The linebackers just kind of drifting. If they get back and they find the receiver, you can't just kind of float back there. You got to know your receivers are, because it's not so much that you're going to make the play, but you at least can get between the quarterback and the receiver and take his vision away from him.
Terrific non-interceptable throw by Blake. Great catch by Dunn. Touchdown Bengals as he goes to Tony McGee again.
Jeff Blake emulating Tony McGee. Not one of your more flamboyant touchdown celebrations. This was nothing but momentum, Jim. You got to admit, this drive, they got on their horse and they rode that bad boy all the way to the end zone. They did not stop. They mixed it up. They found McGee. They found Dunn. They gave it to Hurst. And it just, everything they did was mixed together so nicely that the Colts never really got their act together and were able to make a play.
And McGee that time matched with the strong safety McElroy, but able to find his way to the middle for the touchdown catch. So for the fifth time today in Cincinnati, the Bengals take the lead. Can the Colts catch them for a fifth time? We'll be back. Well, the Colts will get something for Christmas. Even if they lose, they'll have a road playoff game. They were hoping for a home playoff game. They were certainly hoping to put a lump of Colts in the Bengals' Christmas stocking.
Ouch.
Come on, you don't think that was the best of the day? Here's Bailey again. Last time he went 95 yards. And he's still trouble for the Bengals as he gets it across the 30 to the 35.
The last time Ashley Ambrose was chasing him, this time he pretty much ran Ashley over, hit him in the chest, and Ashley just said, better safe than sorry, I'll just lay down with him.
All right, Captain Clutch, what you got this time?
You know, right now, time is getting down. They got 5:16 left. They got a long way to go. They're going to have to start conserving a little clock. They're not going to be able to, they haven't really been able to run the ball that well. Garrison Hurst has done Marshall Faulk has done a pretty good job
Catching the ball. Hasn't been able to break away in the running game, but they can dispense with establishing the running game now. They're throwing.
because you're not fooling anybody.
Marvin Harrison, the intended receiver. James Francis was in Harbaugh's face.
And this is exactly how the game started, too. Harbaugh going down. Remember, he was hit by like the first 3 or 4 plays. Once again, look at the protection here. They're bringing everybody. Both backers coming. Francis on the one side, McDonald on the other.
Very nice job by Francis of dumping Harbaugh inadvertently with his feet as he went by. Nothing at all intentional about that, I don't think. Thank you very much. Second down, 10. Captain Clutch goes to Falk in the flat. Fools no one. Ricardo McDonald was there first.
Hey, got to give that to McDonald. I've seen many guys who have just basically fell down without even touching the back. When you're left out there one-on-one with a guy, it is the most lonely position you can ever be in, as you've got to bring him down. Falk makes a little wiggle. McDonald stays focused on his numbers, makes a nice snag, and keeps him down. Third and long.
They're on their feet in the jungle. 5 wide receivers. 4th down. Aaron Bailey, the intended receiver. Dan Wilkinson broke the pocket.
Great job by Wilkinson. You know, with all those receivers out there, they had no backs in the backfield, no additional help to help pick up on the rush, and they've been getting good rush up inside. But also great job by number 24, Roger Jones, seeing the play and coming up and making a beautiful hit.
Biggest punt of the year now for Chris Gardocki, his 68th punt of the year. He's averaged 46.3. Number 2 in the AFC, having a tremendous season. This the most important one yet. Too low.
Bad bounce.
Takes a Bengal bounce. Scramble for the football. Indianapolis ball.
The ball hit the heel of one of the players, one of the Bengal players.
Unnecessary. Should have left it alone completely.
Also, well, it wasn't actually even one of the guys going after the ball. One of the Bengal players, all he was doing was blocking. He was down there to set up and block for the return.
Touch by the receivers. Recovered by the kicking team. First down.
Jason Belzer, who had the touchdown interception return in the first half, makes the recovery here.
Now watch. I don't know if it might be 85 right
Hunden.
there. Hunden. He's there to block. He's not making a play on the ball. But anytime the ball takes that kind of a bounce, you're supposed to get a signal from the return guy. Get away, get away. They all have their keywords for it, but everybody's supposed to scatter. Didn't happen. Hunden touched it, and it's Colts ball.
New life for the Colts. First down at the 25-yard line. Harbaugh to Dilger. Gain of about 6 down to the 18. Bracy Walker makes the stop.
He said, hey, you're throwing to McGee, I'm throwing to Dilger. Both sides using that tight end very well. They've got some pretty potent wide receivers, but why not work the inside a little bit? You start working the inside, you start throwing to the tight end like this, they start drawing attention from the safeties. If the safeties have to worry about the tight ends inside, then you can later on start finding wide receivers down the sideline, one-on-one with a quarter without any safety help.
Second down 2. They give to Falk, and he's bottled up. 92, John Copeland shut down the corner on Marshall Falk.
Boy, this game has just been going back and forth. One play they're busting it, one play they're coming to life. Copeland, nice job. In fact, Copeland last week had a nice play, tipped the ball. One of the reason that Francis actually made one of the interceptions last week. But this defensive line, as I said before, playing well, and Copeland happens to be lined up against Tony Mandrich. Mandrich starting at right tackle the last few games. They say one of the reasons the run game's gotten better.
Third down 3. Colts haven't been able to run it at all. Harbaugh's pass, batted down by Francis. He was trying to go to Falk.
Great defense. Harbaugh had to anticipate that. They've been bringing Francis so many times, you had to figure he's going to be there. There was nobody there to block him. Normally you'd have a back or somebody there to go and block low, force him to keep his hands down. Nobody there. Francis wide open in Harbaugh's face, making a nice play focusing on that ball.
6 feet 5 inches tall, maybe the tallest outside linebacker in the league.
What are you going to do, throw around him?
Colts are 5 of 11 on 4th down this year. Captain Clutch. Short of the first down. Marvin Harrison makes the catch. Tom Timothy makes the tackle.
Well,
they love it in Cincinnati.
Marvin Harrison, you had a good year. You had a lot of good receptions, but
you didn't go deep
enough. 4th down, you need 3, 4 yards. You've got to at least go 3 or 4 yards downfield or you're getting nothing.
Could that possibly be what Infante is saying to Harrison?
Probably nicer.
We'll be back.
Here's the mistake. Marvin Harrison, Aaron Bailey highlighted there on top. They try and run a pick, run into each other, and Marvin Harrison, as I said, man, I know you're a rook. You got to get the yardage on 4th down, or guess what? Single ball.
First on 1st down, Elijah Alexander makes the stop. 2 minutes, 37 seconds to go.
Here it is again. They try and run it left. They're not allowed to call it a pick because that's illegal. Here, good play by the linebackers. Tumulty basically comes up and destroys what could have been a kind of a brush-off type run, a pick play there. And they just did not get enough yardage for that 1st down. Good job by Tumulty.
Colts are in a pretty good position here vis-a-vis timeouts. The earlier timeout in the half, which I originally said would be charged to the Colts, was in fact charged against the Bengals. So the Colts have all 3 remaining as this possession begins for Cincinnati. They've just used the first one. They've got 2 timeouts remaining and still 37 seconds to go before the 2-minute warning. So there's every possibility, if they can stop this Bengal possession, that they'll get the ball back with plenty of time to score again.
The problem is they've been having some problems stopping the Bengals' drives down the field. They've not always have scored points, but the Bengals have done a pretty good job of getting that ball and keeping the drive going.
Well, an interesting choice for the Colts defensive staff. Do you gang up and stop the run and take a chance that Blake is going to hurt you with play action? Or do you play your normal set and hope it will be good enough?
They're still coming.
Pickens. Great tackle by Buchanan. Clutch play. Pickens' 100th catch of the year, but a huge play by Buchanan, and the Colts again stop the clock.
You know, I talked about before about McDonald making a nice play in the open field. Ray Buchanan, against a guy like Pickens that's got some quicks, got some moves. Man, did he focus and make a nice tackle.
A huge day of football in Cincinnati at the end of the year. We'll be back. 3rd down, 4 for Cincinnati. Need to get the football to the 27-yard line. Dunn in motion. Colts blitzing. The pass is complete to McGee. Big first down for the Bengals out to the 39-yard line. McElroy makes the stop, and Tony McGee has come up huge in the passing game today for the Bengals. 15-yard gain there, and that is the 8th catch of the game for Tony McGee.
Look to the left there, counting on 29, Jason Belzer, to be able to come out from a safety position and make the play on McGee. He's got a lot of yardage to cover, just couldn't get there in time. That ball, quick release to McGee.
So now time begins to run out on the Colts. They stop the clock again using the last of their 3 timeouts with 2:11 to go. 2-minute warning coming up in 11 seconds. But from that point forward, the Colts will no longer be able to stop the clock. And if Garrison Hurst, who has over 80 yards in the running game, can control the clock and help the Bengals to run it out, he might simultaneously accomplish what had seemed for a long time to be the near impossible and get that 100 yards and become the first Bengal to do so in 65 games.
12 yards and he does it. He's sitting at 88 yards right now. And I'll tell you what, that's what they need right now. They need to get the ball to Garrison in a position where he can just get it going, keep that clock running.
High-breaking touchdown catch was made by Tony McGee. That brought the Bengals to their 31-24 lead. All in all, McGee with that last catch for 15 yards, 8 grabs, 93 yards in the game. Colts blitzing. Hurst piling forward for a gain of about 3. That'll take him over the 90 mark. Still tantalizingly close, but short of 100. Belzer makes the stop for the Colts. 2-minute warning arrives. 31-24 Bengals. Will be back to the NFL on NBC after this. Rookie receiving star Marvin Harrison of the Colts consulting on the sideline with the sidelined Sean Dawkins. Jim Harbaugh hoping for one more chance with the football. The Colts trailing 31-24 as they fight to try to get a home playoff berth by beating the Bengals in Cincinnati, an assignment which stood to be tough at the beginning of the day and has proven to be exactly that. 5 times the Bengals have taken the lead in the football game. 4 times the Colts fought back to tie them. But here's what's at stake in the last 2 minutes. A win today, they would have been hosting a wild card game at home. A loss today, as now seems likely, and they're on the road in the playoffs, which for a team which has struggled with injuries the way the Colts have this year is not a very promising prospect.
You're right. They have really fought through a tremendous amount of adversity to get.
Well, you're hearing what the situation is with the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Lampley explaining it. If the Colts can pull this out, they will host a game. If not, they'll be on the road, a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's see if Jim Harbaugh will get one last chance. We'll have a live post-game show from the locker room coming up in just a couple of minutes. So sit tight and let's go, Colts. Let's pull this thing out.
It says, though, Harbaugh will have about 40 to work with when he gets the football.
Well, I mean, he proved that he can get the ball down the field pretty quickly. Dumping it to, the one thing is, though, his big success has been dumping the ball to Dilger in the middle. That ain't going to get you yardage and save you time. That's going to be, it'll get you some yardage, but it's going to eat clock. He's going to have to start working the outside a lot more and do it quickly.
Make it less than 40. Delay of game, and the clock finally stops at 35 seconds, so there will be around 30 to go. When and if the Colts get a chance to operate from scrimmage.
Well, barring a big return, he's going to be way too far just to lay out there and throw up a Hail Mary pass.
Hey, wait a minute. He could throw a Hail Mary to Aaron Bailey among defenders in the end zone. Let's watch it roll down Bailey's chest and see if he can hold on to it this time.
It's been done.
Been there, seen that.
It's been done.
Brian Stabline waits at the 15-yard line for Lee Johnson's kick. And it's a big one. Good coverage downfield. Oh, how perfect is this? Oh, they're going to call it a touchback.
It's a touchback.
Too bad. I'm sure the Colts would have loved the challenge of going 99 yards in this situation.
If their foot touches that line at all, as they're trying to touch it down, if it touches the end line at all, it's a touchback.
All right, so if you got a Hail Mary coming up, that's deja vu for Colts fans who will never forget the final play of last year's AFC Championship game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Harbaugh airing it out. Bailey in a crowd in the end zone. Close.
And it just is so close to pulling it in. Right about there, it makes contact with the ground. What a heartbreaker for that team.
That's how close the Colts came to going to the Super Bowl a year ago. Now their chances don't look so good. Harbaugh down the middle. Caught! Marvin Harrison. But the Colts can't stop the clock.
He's going to have to ground it
He'll
here.
spike one here. And now he looks for Aaron Bailey in the end zone, right?
That's it. It's a replay. Unbelievable job of getting open on that one. Of course, the Bengals only rushed 3, which gives Harbaugh plenty of time. Marvin Harrison, nice job of just sailing down. And Harbaugh found him between the underneath coverage and the up top coverage that is there to protect the long play. And they pick up enough to put him in a position to lay it up for the game winner to Bailey.
And the Bengals use a timeout with 6 seconds left. That ball was almost picked off by Gerald Dixon and got through his hands into the hands of Marvin Harrison. So the Bengals call a timeout. They'll confer on the defensive alignment for this upcoming play. 6 seconds remaining. Poetic ending to the season for us. On a personal note, Bob, it's been a fabulous season working with you on the Fabulous Bobby G Show. And you know what I'll miss about all this?
What's that?
You. That's the overall picture. Thank you very much.
And to you, man. Thank you very much. God, you make me cry again.
Well, you should
I haven't
cry.
done that since I retired.
It's the last game of the season. It's the last play of the last game. And yes, you should weep.
You know what? I think me and you need to get together in some local establishment, maybe in Utah.
In some locale.
And call a game.
We've called a bunch. And they couldn't have been better by and large.
Well, here it is. Talk about a great ending.
One chance for the Colts. They've been here before. That's it. One play later, Gerald Dixon gets his interception. A poetic way to end the season for the Bengals, who led the NFL in that category. And Cincinnati finishes at 8-8 after a 1-6 start.
They really got to be excited about what's to come during this offseason and also leading up to next season.
So the final score, Cincinnati 31, Indianapolis 24. We'll be back in a moment.